What's going on, drinking buddies? Brand new episode coming right at you. But real quick, I hope everyone's staying safe, staying healthy as possible. You know, wild times we're living in. This is a good example of may you live in interesting times being a curse. Before we get on with this week's amazing podcast, just a quick word from our sponsors. You know, those fine people that are helping me keep a roof over my fucking head right now. This week we are brought to you by the video versions of A Now I Drink. The video versions are available on Vimeo on demand for 99 cents an episode, or for $6.99 a month, you get unlimited episodes streaming in full HD. See the madness, see the facial expressions, see the occasional nudity, and support me directly. I appreciate the fuck out of you. I appreciate the fuck out of you, listening every week. Oh, and I also always forget to mention, the videos are completely ad-free. We get right into the nitty-gritty. It's just right into the show. So check those out today at www.anwd.net/videos. Once again, that is www.anwd.net/videos. We are also brought to you by me being a Twitch streamer. If you have Amazon Prime or you're into video games, do me a solid. Check me out on Twitch. Throw me a subscription. Cost you $5 a month or nothing if you have Amazon Prime. And it throws a little money my way. Twitch streaming a bunch of times during the week, playing some video games, interacting with people, doing an occasional live show on Twitch. So check that out at twitch.tv/MattFandSlayer. That's twitch.tv/MattFandSlayer. Appreciate the support, guys. I really do. And we are also brought to you this week by one of our old school sponsors. We are brought to you by our friends at Vinyl Me Please. Vinyl Me Please is the Record of the Month Club. The best damn Record of the Month Club. In fact, every month, Vinyl Me Please features one album that is essential to a modern vinyl collection. Each record is pressed exclusively for Vinyl Me Please, and has features you can't get anywhere else. Things like bonus tracks, inserts, color variants, and comes packaged with a 12x12 album-inspired art print and custom cocktail pairing recipe. Been talking about Vinyl Me Please forever. And if you can afford it, there is no better time to just relax with some awesome tunes. So join. It's not like Record of the Month clubs of old. It's month to month, no strings attached. Cancel anytime. Get some rad vinyl, discover some new music, and try to relax in these trying times. If you're playing the trying times game, take a shot. So join today at www.joinvmp.com/ANWD. Once again, that is www.joinvmp.com/ANWD. My guest this week is returning guest, author Robert Dean, and producer Pedro Lucero. We talk about gaming, sports, of course, the pandemic, their upcoming projects like Out of Step, and some other projects Pedro was working on. It was a super fun episode. It was good kicking back with my friends, just kind of having a hang on air. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. So sit back, relax, pop a cold one, and enjoy, drinking buddies.
Friend.
Okay. Okay. We are recording. Let me.
Do you have knives online? Can't drink from the. You can't drink. This is my letter opener, man. I'm Latino, bro. You know I got more knives. Get out of here with that podcast.
All right. So, hold on.
Did you just say Allah?
I did. I did just say Allah. No, we're live.
This shit just went weird.
Oh, it will only get weirder from here, my friend.
Just be glad I'm not there to punch you.
Oh, is it going to be that kind of party?
No, this is tequila, not Jack.
All right. We are live on Twitch. We are recording. We're going to make a fucking shit show drunk out of this. I don't know if this is going to get my Twitch account banned. Who cares?
Fuck them.
Fuck them. Let God sort it out. Oh, did I mention I don't believe in God?
What?
Well, I'm just saying. I said let God sort it out, and then went, wait, I don't even believe in God. So,
well, there you go.
How are you, gentlemen?
In taxes? I believe in taxes.
Oh, I do too. I'm afraid of what my taxes are going to look like next year.
So is this one of those cool shows where you did a bunch of research about me before you interview me, or you just don't give a shit?
Zero.
That's awesome.
I meant to do a bunch of fucking research before, and then I woke up at 1 p.m. today, so almost 2.
I think I got up at 2:30 today.
Yeah, same here. But I started cooking as soon as I got up.
Good times.
I made dinner last night, and then me and Preston started drinking, and then next thing I know, it's like 6 o'clock in the morning, and we're arguing about capitalism. That's what like my life has become.
You and your wife arguing about shit all the time?
Yeah. Aren't you supposed to do like some kind of formal show introduction? Or
yeah,
you just like, fuck it,
I mean, normally I do that shit in post. I do a whole and today I'm joined by author Robert Dean and producer extraordinaire Pedro Lucero and all that fun shit. But I'm just going willy nilly with this shit and opening the goddamn Willet.
Where the fuck did willy nilly come from, by the way?
I have no fucking idea. I mean, we can go and figure out where the fuck that came from.
That's the majority of my conversations is figuring out where certain sayings come from.
I know a couple of them. Do you know where the whole 9 yards comes from?
Golf?
No.
No, isn't that football?
No.
No, what is that?
World War II. It's the guns. They would use 9 yards of bullets when on a Gatling gun. So when they would say it, they'd go the whole 9 yards on something.
Holy shit! That's rad.
That's cool. That's actually pretty badass.
There's your useless fact for the day, gentlemen.
Yeah, I like that useless fact. I'll actually use it now because when I thought it was golf related, I'm like, you're playing half a game of golf?
The more you know.
No, it's about bullets in a gun.
Well,
my old school fucking uncle who fought in World War II, he went to join. I think he was 16 when he was in World War II. I'm 16 and barely fucking affording to live in my mom's house, and he's out there on a fucking Navy ship getting his chest tattooed.
Did he volunteer?
Fucking hardcore, man.
I think he was like, I think he volunteered. I mean, it's different times, man. We're all pussies now, but those dudes are fucking 16 running off to fight the good fight over. I don't remember. I haven't seen him in a couple of years, but I know that he was over there and shit. And he's got a couple of tattoos. When I started getting covered, and my one uncle, when he was still alive, was like, "Why are you doing that?" But then, like my Uncle Tom, he's got like one of those old school. He got a couple of the sailor tats on him from fucking the Fiji Islands and shit. And he was like, "That shit's cool." And I'm like, "Wow, never tell me anything like that."
Nice.
Yeah, my grandfather volunteered too, and he had some wild stories, especially when he got older and stopped giving a fuck. He's like in front of my grandmother, like, "Yeah, one day, I met a girl, and she was all like, well, I won't sleep with you unless we're getting married." And he's like, "Baby, I'm gonna marry you, but I'm shipping out tomorrow." And apparently, she gave it up, and then he turned out he actually was shipping out tomorrow. Like, oops, whoops,
oops. Those are cool war stories, guys. I'm first generation. I wouldn't know anything about it.
Well, the other good war story about my grandfather was he was a bomber gunner, and he was shot down over Russia while they were our allies, and he was held as a POW, not a POW, but he was held in Russia.
Wow.
And he came back with apparently a duffel bag full of rubles, and he was hustling his guards at cards every night.
Nice.
My grandpa was in my grandpa was in World War II, and we didn't find out we knew he was there, but he was like that old school that they didn't talk about shit. And we found out after he died about like how much of a fucking badass he was in like the jungles of the Philippines and everything. And but if you could, there's a bunch of books you can read now that like they kind of lifted the veil on, because we grew up with that perception of World War II of like the greatest generation, and like you see all the like respectful things, but now there's like all these books about like fucking people collecting heads and shit, and like sending home the souvenirs and all this stuff. My friend up in Chicago, he's got his grandpa's, he's got like a Japanese sword, and he's got a Nazi armband, and yeah, they would just fucking mail it, man. Like just straight up package it in the mail and send it off, and like it was full blown like a samurai sword and stuff.
That's so wild.
Yeah, that's crazy as fuck. I mean,
and that's how you get all those weird memorabilia in like in the middle of nowhere, fucking Kansas. Because those people, everybody that lived in those areas, they would get all that shit mailed back to them, and it would sit in the attics and shit. Because nobody knew how much they were worth, obviously. But yeah, there's like this huge all of Middle America where there's like the treasure hunting thing is crazy, out of control, and it's always war memorabilia.
Yeah,
you know what I fucking hate about? I mean, the internet is such a blessing and a curse because we can do cool shit like this. And I have like met a lot of really good friends through social media, like people I consider best friends at this point, thanks to like the medium. But
yeah, I feel like that. I hate too.
Hey, please support the cam girls.
Feel like
we're best friends, man.
I make her OnlyFans jingle. But I think I always feel like the old guy in the room that I hate that everything is on the fucking internet, man. I do. I hate it because I like when like you still go record shopping or going looking for a book and you find that thing that you were looking for. And I think the mystery of finding a cool knickknack or like stumbling across some kind of weird fucking sword at like a pawn shop in the middle of Kansas, the romance to that is gone because that dude watches Pawn Stars now, and you don't know what you have, and you like those gems just don't exist. It's some dickhead trying to pay off his house loan because some other dickhead wants to buy it.
Yeah,
capitalism, baby, capitalism.
There you go.
Capitalism is bullshit and it's broken.
I don't necessarily disagree with you.
Is that your battle cry, Mom? That limp wrist you threw up in there like that?
Well, that's it.
It's like this.
Look, don't get me started, man. I'll go on a fucking rant about capitalism being broken and all kinds of shit. I'll bring back the fucking gulags, man. I'm ready for the guillotines and everything. Kill all these motherfuckers.
Dude, well, settle down, because I have no idea what this show is about, and I'm on it right now.
This show is about you, my friend.
I am half a bottle of tequila because the show is called And Now We Drink. So I'm like, oh, fine. Then this is good. So what's going on?
Well, actually, I was just about to ask you that, Pedro. What is going on with you? How is your quarantine going?
I have to say it's actually going good. I don't know if it's just my frame of mind in general. Very Buddhist approach to a lot of things, or that I have my family like directly next door to me. So it's not like I'm by myself.
How, like your extended family, or who all's next door?
Yeah, like my sister has the house, the main house. I have a house in the back, and then my mom lives with them and takes care of the kids. So yeah, my immediate family is literally like right next door.
Nice. That definitely makes it easier.
I'd say that definitely has a lot to do with it. Plus, Bob and I talk about our little beliefs in Buddhism and how we're just trying to make ourselves better people, because we are shitbags.
No,
bro, we are all garbage people, man. We really are.
That's a fair assessment.
It's like I have to say that besides the insane amount of anxiety I would be experiencing because I don't know where my next job is, I kind of got over that in the first week. It was one of those things where I'm like, not necessarily like, oh, we're all in this together, because we're not.
Fuck no, we're not.
You know, but in the sense of like what's going to be the outcome for me is how I kind of approached it, and how is that going to change me as a person? Like, screw career. Like, I'll do whatever. I'll go find a sales job selling cell phones or some shit. I don't care. You know, but bottom line is it going to change me as a person? And I've already been going through a lot of changes in the past few years, and I think it's good. You know, so yeah, my quarantine's been okay. You know, and we have a big enough property here where I'm left alone and families left alone when they need to be alone, and
so you can spend that time with those cam girls you're supporting.
Absolutely.
Last thing you want is the family walking in on that shit.
No, they would never do that. No, not at all.
I mean, they might do it once and then never again.
You can't see, but maybe you can see in the reflection of my glasses here. There's multiple monitors.
So are you watching multiple cam girls at the same time?
Well, so I guess this is live. I could say what's really going on. So I jokingly on Facebook posted when the quarantine started, because Bobby and I have a lot of bartender friends, and some of the girls were like, I guess I'll start doing cam work. And I'm like, I immediately figured out a niche, but I was also very sarcastic and like I was laughing. I was like, hey, y'all need help setting up cameras and lighting? I can make sure you at least make more money than most girls. And I got like 5 calls immediately. So these girls on a regular, they'll hit me up and be like, yo, can you come on and see if I did this right? I mean, at this point, there is no resetting cameras and lights. They just want me to come and watch them. And it's kind of funny to me, because I'm like literally having conversations with 5 different girls at one time, and I'm laughing my ass off half the time. Most of the time I'm extremely high at the same, and I'm just like, hey, that's great. Why is there Hello Kitty next to your dildo? That's inappropriate. It just, and Bobby knows my sense of humor. And most of the time I'm just like, I really don't give a fuck. But at the same time, it's entertaining to me. And that's kind of what it's become, where I'm just like, during the day, I'm like brushing up on editing skills, because that's the one spot I am not as good as I'd like to be, considering I'm in the film industry. But it's I spend most of my day, learning that, figuring out what I'm going to eat, and listening to a lot of music.
What are you listening to?
I am. I think I've. If you can burn the grooves in a Spotify, I think I've burned the grooves in Mike D's playlist from his book right now.
Nice. What else on that? Is it a lot of
really eclectic? Besides that, I mean, I listen to a lot of my monk chanting and stuff like that during the day, but mostly in the afternoons and evenings, I'm tearing it up. Listening to a lot of old classic punk as well.
Nice. So Nordine, What are you listening to?
Let me think. I'm listening to the new Pokey Lafarge record. I was listening to a lot of the new Pokey. What else was I listening to? Lucero was in heavy rotation this week. Social Distortion. A lot of pretty much my taste in music bounce between hardcore, lots of hip hop, country music. Like those 3 things are what go back and forth. So like I was listening to Big L, Mobb Deep, Tribe Called Quest, EPMD. Notorious B.I.G. a little bit, Leaders of the New School, KRS-One. That's pretty much like where I've been lately. And then when I swing back into hardcore, it was like a lot of Cro-Mags, Snapcase, Earth Crisis, Judge. What else was I hitting up this week? We were listening to Botch, Vision of Disorder, Candiria, Poison the Well. I was on all that last night when we were hanging out drinking. But then, like I said, I'll hit a mood, and then I'll be back into punk, and I'll be back into like country music. So it really just bounces between those 4 genres all the time. But I'm probably like about due for more blues again. But like I said, a lot of old school hip hop. I meant to
ask you, Bobby. I meant to ask you last week. Did you watch the Willie Nelson thing?
Which one? Live from Luck or the Come and Toke It?
The 421, the Come and Toke It.
No, I didn't watch that, but I did watch the Luck reunion. The Luck reunion was good.
Yeah.
It's just like I said, it depends on the day, really. for me about like with music and what I'm listening to and stuff. But around here, I live with somebody who has more music than anybody can comprehend. So there's always something going on. And like we were listening to Irma Thomas earlier as we were eating fucking Greek food. So
nice.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Small. We had put it on. Small shout out to a friend of ours, mom who passed away. That was real tight with Irma Thomas. So fucking giving a couple of minutes of love out to her in the universe.
Right on.
Times in quarantine are fucking weird, man.
Yeah, Matt. What are you listening to right now?
A whole lot of nothing. I have literally just been like, when I'm not editing, I'm watching movies or I'm streaming video games. I haven't had a moment to just sit back and listen to music. It's probably been bad for my mental health. I probably should.
Pedro, the weirdest shit is. Let me just tell you, when you're in the car with Matt and his fucking iPod comes on, it's like playing Russian roulette. It's the weirdest shit. Like you could be like, yeah, you got a really eclectic taste in music. I get that. No, bro, it's something totally different. We'll be in the car, and we're cruising through the streets of Los Angeles, and he'll be like Motorhead, and then the next minute it'll be like Strung Out. You're like, cool, this is totally in my wheelhouse. The next minute it's like Engelbert Humperdinck.
Nice.
What did fucking Copacabana come on at one point?
Yeah, we were driving around and I was like, what? We're driving through fucking like Century City or something, and I look at him, I'm like,
Barry Manilow?
Listening to Barry Manilow?
Like it just came on Shuffle, man.
Nice. Nothing wrong with that, man.
Always fucking.
Let's see.
Nothing wrong with that.
If I were to like,
only time I'll judge you is if you're listening to Creed or the Eagles.
Yeah.
I fucking hate the Eagles, man.
All right,
holy
settle down.
shit!
Bob. That wasn't directed towards you. Calm down.
So I just hit shuffle. I just hit shuffle on my iPod. It went from Snoop Dogg to The Used to the Four Tops to AC/DC to Skeleton Witch to Sabbath to Black Label to Lana Del Rey to System of a Down to Alkaline Trio to Probot to some EDM DJ to Annie Lennox and so on and so forth. That is just a random shuffle.
That's a good mix. That's a good mix.
There's some good ones in there.
Oh yeah, no, I don't have horrible taste in music. I just have a wide taste in music.
Yeah.
I love Lana Del Rey. I think all of her music sounds like. I think Lana Del Rey's music sounds like murder scenes in the Hollywood Hills.
Oh, every time I watch or listen to Lana Del Rey, I'm like, I could just imagine it like being in a movie, just being part of a soundtrack to a movie. Almost every song.
Yeah.
And I was turned on to it by a performer I was involved with at one point who sadly is now dead. So, like, every time I listen to it, I now think of that dead girl. Yay.
Lana Del Rey is definitely, she is my celebrity crush. I love her.
Well, good thing you're singing on the internet.
She's beautiful. I don't give a shit.
No, I'm just saying we should try to make this shit happen.
Oh, well, yeah. But, yeah, I think she's gorgeous.
Oh, wait. That's right. We're live. I'm in love with Aubrey Plaza. Let's make that happen.
Did you hear about Aubrey Plaza's new cartoon?
No.
I don't care.
Well, support the woman's art. Support the woman's art if you want to, in love with her. Jesus, come on.
No.
All right, fair enough. I just want to touch her naughty bits with consent.
Of course.
Her new cartoon is the dude who created Justin Roiland, who created Rick and Morty. He created it. It's about a woman who has a baby with the devil, and the devil is Danny DeVito, and it's like he's trying to get the baby into custody. So it's Aubrey Plaza and Danny DeVito as a woman and the devil trying to get fucking custody of their kid or sharing custody and like what it's like.
Is this on on Adult Swim?
I don't know. It just got greenlit. I read it today in the it was popping up all over the internet.
God damn you, Justin Roiland! Work on Rick and Morty. Stop doing other projects.
Yeah. He's been trying to get away.
Well, there's some new show on Hulu that's dropping that he obviously worked on as well. I haven't seen anything about it except an ad that popped up in the animation style. I was like, oh, that was definitely drawn by the Rick and Morty people.
Oh, Solar Opposites.
Yep.
And then there's the one by
Rick
the guy with from Adventure Time did the one on Netflix right now too. So yeah, I mean that's something. It's funny you say that because I actually just had this conversation with my animator on one of the shows I'm working on. It's gonna be a big. You're gonna have to get used to CGI and animation.
Oh, I love animation.
So much is gonna have to go in that direction. With that, just the way things are going.
Oh, for sure. Bobby, you were about to say.
No, don't be surprised if Rick and Morty doesn't last very long because because it's Dan Harmon and then Justin Roiland are the two guys behind Rick and Morty, but like there was a third dude that really pushed everything for that show. He passed away like a couple of months ago, and I know it like was really? A serious, yeah. It was like a third guy that was involved in the show process, and he died. It was the main producer, and I know that from like reading things, they were saying that like trying to restart that universe is really hard because he was like a big part of what they created. And so, I mean, I watched half of season 4 fucking shit-faced the other day. And so I don't even remember it. I need to watch it. I bought it drunk out of my fucking mind on the couch the other morning. And I literally was smashed at like 5 a.m. watching it. And so I need to like go back and actually watch it with like, so I can get the jokes. But I wouldn't be surprised because they signed a crazy deal with Cartoon Network.
Yeah, it's like 75 episodes.
Like yeah, something huge. And so, I mean, I'm not saying that they won't get there, but I can probably say that I bet you that they find ways to do other projects and to put other things in the mix to like lessen the blow of how they're going to have to come up with that.
I just hope they don't. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I don't care if it's fucking stick figures. As long as those writers are still doing shit, I'm happy.
Me too. But I also hope that.
I mean, hands down, it's all about the writing, man. Like those the Rick and Morty is some of the most crazy and insightful writing I've seen in a long time in any animated show.
100%. Hell, I'm upset that it took me so long to get into Rick and Morty because, one, the title doesn't really capture, like, oh, Rick and Morty, unless you know what it is. The title isn't like, jump out at you, check this out. And the animation style, in the grand scheme of things, isn't amazing.
Well, you have to keep in mind, too, the way, from what I understand, the way it originally got chopped was very much along the lines of back in your MTV animation, the whole Ren and Stimpy. Like, nobody knew what the hell it was. It was very underground. And then when people caught eye, they were like, holy shit, we want more. And that's basically what happened with Rick and Morty, because Rick and Morty was obviously a spoof on Back to the Future. Right. I mean, that's what it started off. It started off as Doc and Morty, as the original cartoon shorts. Or Doc and Marty, sorry. Doc and Marty.
Yeah, because Justin Roiland, he used to have a bunch of... shout out to my boy Matt Fogarty out in New Orleans, the singer of Orifist. If you're a metalhead, listen to Orifist. But he turned me on to, like, years ago, I'd say 13 years ago, we were watching Justin Roiland cartoons on the internet. He showed me onto this show called House of Cosby's and Practical Use of Swords, all these weird fucking cartoons. And then apparently Dan Harmon saw that and then wanted to hook up with him. But the Doc and Morty for sure is how it started. But it started off Justin Roiland's weird fucking cartoons.
For Dan Harmon,
when
actually,
they did the original. Huh?
Dan Harmon had either it was a web series or a website or some platform, and Harmon started Doc and Marty on Harmon's platform. That's how those two connected. Is the backstory.
Oh, okay.
We're getting deep into other people's art here.
We're diving deep for these.
Hey,
we're
guys,
diving deep for these motherfuckers tonight.
Hey, what the fuck is this podcast really about?
Well, normally it's about just getting drunk and talking shit about sex, but it goes wherever the fuck it goes sometimes. And if we want to talk about weird cartoons, we're going to talk about weird cartoons.
Fair. I'm all down, dude. I'm all down.
Because I love some weird cartoons. I love Liquid Television. I love the 90s MTV cartoons.
Oh.
The fact that shit made it onto primetime television is unreal. Unimaginable these days.
Oh, yeah. No doubt.
They tried to do that.
What's that?
They've tried a couple of networks have tried to do that shit in terms of TV shows. Fox did it for like a couple of episodes back right around the boom of let's say like 9 years ago. They tried to do an animation show that was a bunch of shorts because Seth MacFarlane had something to do with it. But I mean, Cartoon Network's pretty fucking wild and out there.
Yeah, but I feel in the grand scheme of things, like Adult Swim and Cartoon Network are still a bit of an outlier of a fucking network. It's not MTV, especially MTV in the fucking 90s, where it's like, motherfucking TV. You know, MTV, and especially at that point, was such a part of the cultural zeitgeist. You know, they were fucking tastemakers on music because they actually played fucking music videos at that point. So exposing people to...
I wrote that article for... I remember I wrote that article for Consequence of Sound.
Yeah, I might be like, quoting you a little bit.
It may have been, it may have been,
It may have been, but the fact
writer that we know.
It's crazy to think, like, did you guys ever watch The Max?
Yes.
Oh, of course.
Right.
Well, I read it before I even watched it. It's fucking crazy.
It's crazy as hell. And to think that got primetime fucking... A show that is about a...
Was that Cinemax that did The Max?
No, it was on MTV.
No, it was MTV.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And
Spawn was on HBO.
Which was also done very well.
So side note, since we're being nerds, did y'all hear that Disney's trying to pick up Spawn and include him in the Marvel Universe?
Huh? That's an Image comic.
Yeah, they're going to fuck it up.
Yeah,
They realize that there's a huge calling for it. Typical Disney move.
Yeah, but it's not even the same universe. Like
Spawn, I'm not a comic book nerd at all, but what I do know about comics is Spawn is dark as fuck.
Oh yeah, Spawn is dark as fuck. And the whole point of Spawn in the originally, Todd McFarlane eventually moved away from this shit. Was Spawn every issue had a countdown timer. The character was meant to die when they originally introduced it. When that timer hit 0 in the comics, the character was supposed to go back to hell. He was on a limited lease. Unfortunately, commercial success, Todd McFarlane kind of erased that shit.
Right.
But that was such a cool concept. The idea of, like, your main protagonist has a limited run from the jump was such a cool concept to start with.
Oh, yeah.
And the fact that Spawn, before he was Spawn, was an African-American character, which is also very cool, because there weren't, especially in that point in the 90s, weren't that many prominent...
There weren't, yeah.
And especially that didn't have black in their name, like Black Panther or, so many...
Joe Jones!
Yeah. So many African-American superhero characters are like, oh, I gotta let you know I'm black!
Yeah.
I don't know if my white ass should be the one saying that, but too late.
I'm part black. You're cool.
All right, cool. Got my pass on signing off on that one.
Spawn, it's a quarter pass, so I don't know what.
I'll take it. I'll take whatever I can get here live on the internet. But Spawn was such an amazing character because it was dark. Like, the whole concept was a dark fucking character, and not for kids
at all.
No, not at all.
I've never read a Spawn comic. I've seen them. I've never read one, but I liked the TV show, the cartoon.
I mean, the cartoon was very, very true to the comic.
I'm not anti-comic. I have friends that are like, because you fucking hate comics. I'm like, no, dude, I don't hate comics at all. If you give me a graphic novel, I'll read the fuck out of it. It's just I can't read something that's serialized.
How do you explain the difference between a comic and a graphic novel? What is your interpretation of that, Bob?
Well, for me, a comic is a chunk of the story. The graphic novel's the whole story. I can get the whole timeline, and I can get the full picture. I don't like. That's the reason why I don't like comic books. Is I don't like getting a little chunk of something. I want the whole story.
You don't want a serialized story, is what you're saying?
No, I want the whole fucking thing. That's why I don't like episodic television. Really, is because I have to start at the beginning.
It's not the stories that you don't dislike. It's the format.
Yes, it's 100% the format.
Well, and
that's totally understandable.
Totally understandable.
There's many a times. Look, I collected graphic novels, comic books, you name it, since I was a kid. And then, Bob, you know how much I read as well. So it's like I would sometimes avoid going to pick up my folder, because we would pick up folders every week, just to be able to have all those volumes together so I can read the storyline, because it used to drive me crazy. Where I'm like, I don't want to read just a chapter. You know?
That's the thing is, it drove me nuts. And there's stuff I've really liked. Like I read Preacher, like when it was in the graphic novel, and I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. It's just I need the whole picture. I can't.
Right.
I can't do it because the way that my life and my mind works, I won't come back because I didn't read it in that setting. I can't in a week. I won't come back to it. I'll read it in maybe 6 months and forget what the fuck I just saw.
Well, and the other problem with the serialized version of comic books, especially superhero comics, is these serializations last 30, 40 fucking years, and it's impossible to tell an amazing story with good continuity over that span of time. It's just impossible.
Yeah, and then they jump in and out of fucking other comic books, so you're getting like the point of view from Green Goblin to like Spider-Man in one thing, and you're like, dude, this is cool, but it's really hard to keep up with. And that's why I never got the comic book thing. And when like with Marvel and that whole universe, I don't give a shit because it's just I didn't grow up reading it. By the time like my friends were into comic books, I was already into fucking punk rock and skateboarding. I didn't give a shit about comic books. Just like I don't give a shit about video games. I think video games are fucking stupid.
See, video games are... Yeah, we're going to say that on Twitch. Good times.
Yeah, I said it. I'm not a gamer.
Video games are stupid.
Right. Subscribe to my channel.
Go ahead.
I understand their importance. I understand the technical complexity it takes to make them, to enjoy them, to be a thing. They're not for me. I don't get it. I don't know why somebody would want to sit and pretend they're a fucking soldier man running around and doing that shit. I just don't get it at all. It makes zero sense to me why somebody would want to do that. But if that's your thing, no disrespect, just not for me. I don't expect anybody to like the boring shit I do like.
Well,
look, hey Bob, just to put it in perspective for you, think of it this way. You're in quarantine right now and you are not with the ladies you want to be with. So think of it as a video game.
I don't want to be with anybody. I'm happy in my room fucking reading books.
All right. So as someone who does play a fair amount of video games, part of the appeal is it's a distraction, and it allows you to escape into worlds where, depending on the game, you have more control over the story and how it progresses than traditional mediums like a book or a movie. You get to be actively part of the...
Not to cut off. Here's a good point. Bob, what was your opinion about choose your own adventure books when you read books when you were younger?
Do you want my honest opinion about
No,
that?
we want your unhonest opinion. Tell us the fucking...
What kind of question is that?
When I was a kid, I thought they were ridiculous.
There you
go. Because I was already reading.
Right, Matt? Because that's already what video games are. You get to choose the direction you want your story to go into.
I was already reading way heavier shit, and then when I was in school and they would give us this like choose your own adventure nonsense, I'd be like, really? I was already such a fucking cunt that I just thought it was so beneath me to read those books in like third grade already.
Well, what's stopping someone from creating a choose your own adventure book for fucking adults? A real choose your own adventure.
They've tried, and I know people who've done them,
and
they're okay. I mean, I think they're all stupid. So
why are you?
Bob hated Mad Libs, Matt.
Apparently,
Mad Libs.
Well, I'm just trying to get to the bottom of why you dislike having some agency in your story.
It's not about having agency in my story. It's that I like the idea of a completed vision that you can just show me, and then I want to experience your vision, whether it be music, writing, film, whatever. I want to have that executed. I just don't see the need for me to inject myself in that. That's like the media version of thoughts and prayers that I have to inject myself to feel better, that I'm in. It's just it's something that I don't understand and I have no appeal to.
Well,
it's the same. It's the same general principle of that I don't get, like when people want to talk about playing video games or want to watch other people playing video games.
Hi, Twitch audience.
On this Twitch, I think Twitch is fucking stupid. Sorry. But my kid watches people play fucking Minecraft, and these dudes are in these like crazy expensive chairs with these headsets that look like shit that an aviator would wear. And he's like, oh, I'm making the jump. And I'm like, do you find this interesting?
Well, on the flip side, how do you find it interesting that someone's successfully hitting a ball to the outfield?
Really?
Yeah, really.
You're taking a skill that somebody the literal hardest thing in sports is to hit a home run. The literal hardest thing in all sports is to hit a home run. So you're taking somebody with rapid second agility that is hurling something that, if it hits you in the face, can kill you at upwards of 100 miles per hour. You have to projectile shoot it with the stick, challenging 3 possible people to get it over 100 feet. That is not the same thing as fucking pushing a button to hopefully hit a sniper across a little make-believe thing in Call of Duty. Get the fuck out of here.
Damn, you took this all the way back to fucking bread and circus gladiator shit.
Oh yeah.
To try and prove your point. I commend you. That was pretty impressive. Bob. I like that. But in all honesty, yes, I could see the correlation. It's the same thing. You have zero investment in whether that player gets hurt.
Exactly. And you have zero investment if that player succeeds or not. Where you're in, this is your medium, you're entertained by, holy fuck, because I'll admit this, I just spent like the first half hour before we got on air watching some dude play custom Mario Maker levels on YouTube.
What?
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's so fucking lame.
That sounds so awful.
It's... Well, because first and foremost,
look, to a certain extent, look, I understand video games. I like video games, but I have to agree with Bob. Watching someone play video games is fucking weird. Well, if I would want to play, absolutely, I want to challenge my own ability to fucking be able to, complete whatever task. But watching someone play video games, dude, this whole Super Bowl of video games thing, Twitch, I know y'all are watching. Seriously, invite me to one of these and I will have a blast. But will I be watching other people play? No, I'll be getting drunk and laughing at everyone.
Okay.
But like 100%, I don't get enjoying watching someone playing video games.
So for me, it very much depends on the video game. So the Mario Maker stuff is creative on both ends because these people are making Super Mario Brothers levels from fucking scratch. They make some insane, just crazy shit. So the creativity on what some of these makers are making for levels is just mind-boggling.
Hey, hold on. One of my cam girls just Snapchatted me.
Cool.
Hey, girl, hey, you trying to get with this or what?
As we're talking about wholesome content like Mario Maker. And then let me finish. So, and then watching like this dude who has no clue, no roadmap how to get through these fucking crazy schizophrenic levels as he fucking loses his shit trying to get through them, it has some entertainment value.
Okay, I guess you have to see it as like watching. Like I think the only place I could see some sort of entertainment is when it comes to, and I may be using the wrong terminology, and I hope your Twitchers are chatting right now. It is your RPGs where you're little role playing stuff, and you're watching a storyline unfold. Yes, but like Mario Brothers, bro, come on, really?
It's entertaining.
Mario Kart.
No, Mario Kart. No,
I watch people like playing go karts and throwing turtle shells.
No, virtual racing and virtual shit like that is not my cup of tea. But this shit, one, it's also really amusing because the guy whose channel I've been watching is trying to keep it PG so he doesn't get demonetized on fucking YouTube. So
that's a thing.
It unfortunately is a thing. So he will.
Bob, easy. You're gonna get dizzy from rolling your eyes out.
I know it is hilarious to me watching him just like fuck something up royal and be like, hecking dang it. Like he is trying so hard not to swear. And we've all been there, for those of us who do play video games, to the point where like, I fucking had that. And you tried not to whip your controller at the fucking TV. So watching this guy like bottle it up like, hecking dang it. Oh my God. I'm just laughing at watching him not lose his shit too.
Well, I could see that being entertaining. I could totally see that being entertaining.
My kid watches that shit, and like I'll see some of these fucking people, and like he thinks they're cool. He's like, "Daddy, can we go see?" I'm not even gonna mention the fucking guy's name because it's stupid. He's like, "Can we go see him?" And I was like, You want to go meet some fucking nerd who plays this shit on. I don't get it. I'm the old guy in the. I don't understand. I have a whole episode planned about social media and all this, and I consider Twitch in the same thing. I don't understand YouTube stars. I don't understand fucking TikTok. Well, I'm old. I don't get it.
So for YouTube
makes me feel like bad when you say you're old. You know that, right?
Right.
You got 10 years on you, bro.
You are actually the youngest person in this. You're the youngest person in this conversation.
Oh, well, I just don't get the. It's just a thing that I just don't understand. I don't understand the agency of why are we watching people play video games, and I don't give two fucks about people doing dances. And the shit I like, I don't expect anyone to care about what I care about, but I just don't get the cultural moment that when somebody's like, yeah, we're doing TikTok dances. What? I get it if you're fucking 12. But if you're like,
I 100% feel we need to do an episode on our show about this.
Well,
I have it.
You want to talk about people and how they, and just their stories and how they get to that point. You'd be surprised how many people there. I mean, it's adults and children.
Oh, 100%.
How many people like invest so much to have this type of life, and it's amazing to me how this is like. It has, Matt, correct me if I'm wrong. It's been less than 10 years since they started monetizing a lot of this.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And not only monetizing it, but fucking banking.
No, and that's the idea. Like, I have this weird obsession with influencers. I don't give a shit about them, but I'm really like, what does it take to be so desperate to get somebody to want to look at your pictures, and you curate your whole life around this facade of like non-reality? It's just bizarre to me.
But here's the thing. We all do that to a degree.
I guess.
I mean, are you out here posting on your public social media your turmoils, your heartbreaks, what's going on in your personal life? No, you're putting out curated social media.
Mine's pretty much just pictures of food and books.
Right.
Your articles too.
And your articles.
Yeah, my articles.
But you're not disclosing what's going on with your interpersonal relationships. You know,
I'm not, but that's the thing is I don't do that. Because that, to me, that channel is not for that. That's for what my work is.
That's my point. You're curating it. You're curating it.
I'm curating it, but I have a skill that I utilize. Standing in front of a fucking...
Being hot is a skill, sir.
Standing in front of the Eiffel Tower making heart hands is not a skill. It's a fucking... You're lucky that you were born that way.
I can't even make heart hands.
Some of us had to like hustle to get to something, and just I saw this story once about like what it was like to go to like an influencer's camp where like they did like arts and crafts and stuff, and it's like I'm fascinated by.
It sounds like hell on earth.
That in itself is a whole nother issue, dude. When you bring in influencers into this, I genuinely feel that like, regardless of what people might think, I 100% do still respect gamers the same way I would respect athletes. They train, they play, they redo this. I wouldn't consider them influencers because they're doing what they love. Influencers are a bunch of fucking putzes that are literally out there making a buck off of products that aren't theirs, and they're using their cute face, their asses, their personalities. Like, it's a completely different ball game, man.
Well, but that's the thing. It's back to the original point is they got to that point by being attractive and curating their social media. That's how they, and possibly in some situations being famous in another field before they became influencers. In some situations.
Yeah, the whole thing is, like I said, I have a whole show written about this. I guess should we talk about that? Like, because people don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I say I have a whole show about it.
Well, I mean,
Right. That's why I said that.
Yeah, thank you for the layup. I was going to get to that, but there was a couple other points on the influencer social media Twitch thing that I wanted to touch on before we plug the show, but I'm down to plug the show. I'm definitely down to plug the show.
Oh, well, I mean, I have a show. It's called Out of Step. We're getting close to getting it greenlit. We're leaps and bounds. Mr. Graybeard down there is one of the producers of the show, and we're figuring out last minute things, but we think we're getting close. It is about how do you explain the show without giving it away so some asshole doesn't try to steal my idea, but you really can't do it without me, so it doesn't matter.
Let me hold on. Let me try.
Let the producer give the pitch.
Let me try. So the original show started off with obviously a brilliant idea where we were trying to capture, which is basically a lot about what Bobby's influences are. Is your what's his name? See, I'm drunk now. I'm forgetting names. This is great.
Good times.
So Bob's influences, journalistic, media, writers, you name it. In particular, what's his name? Jesus, Bob.
Bourdain,
thank you. And it's a great concept because there was, for lack of a better term, and with all respect to Bourdain, it was a niche that was building, and he passed, and now it needs to be filled. And there are not a lot of people out there who have the background, the moxie, the outlook, the perspective that he did, but Bobby does. Bobby's always had it. And besides being a talented writer, and I mean, he's, as much as he 100% is not a TV film person, and you don't have to talk to him about it to realize that about him. You'll
find out real quick if you do talk to him about it that he's not a TV film person.
Yeah, that is true. He'll make you feel like shit, but that's okay. But anyway, the show, when it originally started, we thought, it'd be a good idea to focus on a lot of things that were what Bourdain was about. But the more Bobby got a chance to sit with it for a while in the past year, it's evolved into, in my opinion, which is probably one of the most brilliant things to do, is without giving away too much about the show, it's more about getting to know people in their culture, in their socioeconomic, political positions, world positions, and how they go through their day-to-day life and what their stories are like. And there's so much you can get from that in television now, as opposed to just watching someone go, hey, I want you to eat some hot wings and see if you can handle it. As much as I love the fucking show.
I love hot ones. Don't come on my show. Don't come on my show and disparage hot ones.
No. But I'm just saying, just because I just happened to watch an episode. That's why. But Bobby, 100%. For people that don't know him and will get to know him, you'll realize that regardless of everything you hear or see his writing, Bobby's probably one of those relatable people. And this is coming from someone who's mixed, Latino, Black, first-generation American. And I clearly sometimes have to refer to him as like, dude, how do you see this? Because it would help me understand when I'm doing my writing. And he is 100% like has his thumb on the pulse of a lot of things. And the show is going to show a lot of that. On top of his background in music, his background as a writer, his background as, being a dick from Chicago, his background of being a badass in New Orleans, it's all going to come through. But that's like what's so important about the show is it's about people. It's about what we're all going through on a regular basis, and make people bring a lot of things to light just by being human about shit. I mean, is that sum that up for you there, Bob? Without you being a dick to everybody and bad mouthing all these nice Twitch people that are watching right now.
Right.
I'm not a thank you. That was very humbling.
Three of them,
to be honest with you.
Two at the moment.
No, it's not about me being a dick. It's just like, yeah, I get it. I don't like video games, but that's because we're talking about that. But the idea of out of step was always to be about how do we get really deep into culture. Like, case in point, I guess I'll give one episode away. I want to talk about Texas because Texas is the most critically misunderstood place in America. I don't think when people who have a very peripheral vision of what Texas is like, but unless you live here, you don't understand what Texas is like. Unless you have a direct relationship with this state, it is not all gun-toting fucking assholes everywhere. Our cities are liberal. People think Austin is the only liberal city in this place, but outside of Fort Worth and some apart up where Texas Tech is, Lubbock, they're the only two major cities, which are the two smallest cities.
Yeah, I wouldn't say Lubbock's a major city.
No, but within the ecosystem of Texas, it's one of the bigger cities. But all of the fucking cities in Texas, minus Lubbock and Fort Worth, all vote Democratic. Hillary Clinton only lost to Donald Trump by less than 2 million votes. Beto O'Rourke only lost to Ted Cruz by 700,000 votes. And in a state of 30 million people, that's a really fucking alarming picture of what the state actually is. The city of Houston is the most diverse place in America. You can go there. It's New York in the 70s. If you want good Punjabi food, if you want to go to a true immigrant neighborhood, you can go to Houston, Texas and get that.
If you want to get randomly stabbed, good times.
But the crime is not rampant, but
it's not good either.
You can hear what in Houston? Houston's not that bad. Texas pretty much is. Texas crime. I mean, you don't fuck around with Texas cops, dude. That's rule number one of living in Texas. But Austin is this place that people don't understand. You think you know Austin, but until you live in Austin, it is not the like hipster mecca that people think it is. There's a lot of layers to this city. And I think telling the story of what Texas is, from the conservatives out in West Texas to the fucking people in East Texas to down in the valley where it's like the most warm immigrant community. I was at the border for the story 3 days before Christmas and was welcomed by these like Latino like anybody I met was unbelievably fucking gregarious, warm. They had an absolutely interesting point of view on culture, immigration, the wall, what it means to be community. We're talking a whole gang of shit about poisoning America with all these like Latinos coming in from the border, but I was at ground zero with all these people whose cousins and girlfriends and boyfriends might live on the other side of the border. And the stories that they told were incredible. And I think we should celebrate that and not punish them for wanting to be a part of that culture, because by celebrating those things about us, we're a lot better than creating the divisive bullshit that the narrative we continue to shift towards, which we should learn through the process that we're in right now. We're closer than we think we are. Our fucking government is garbage. No matter what side of the fence, like, you believe in, the government is garbage. There's a lot of good people in the mix on both sides. Like, I don't necessarily love guys like, what's his name? Dan Crenshaw from here. Dude with the eye patch who, like, got bombed on. They dunked on him on Saturday Night Live. I don't like his politics, but I understand he's important because he's the next wave of politician. And then I'm an AOC person, but because, I'm a liberal progressive dickhead, whatever, but that's the true story that we're going to start seeing is just because we don't agree necessarily, but we need to understand that our fucking system is garbage. The way that we're treating our people is fundamentally broken. And we should find ways to tell these stories to give people a sense of balance and semblance of what actual hope can look like, despite what community you're in, what subculture you believe in, or what you call home. Because home can look like a lot of things, and it can look like people. So let's find ways to tell those stories in a way that isn't ugly and it isn't fucking weird, but it is complex because we are all complex. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
I wasn't trying to cut you off. I was just trying to cheers Pedro. Jesus.
But
so that's not Bobby's log line because that's really long. But that's the.
Yeah, that wasn't much of an elevator pitch. But
we're here doing this, so it's like,
and that's kind of like and correct me if I'm wrong, Bobby. Like, that's kind of like the point behind it is, as much as we want to sit here and tell someone, look, this is our log line. It's a lot bigger than most people can actually understand and comprehend. But the show is going to show you all that.
Oh yeah,
it's not catchy. It's not something like, hey, dude does this, and they go do this. You know, it's
Dad barbecues.
Real shit. You know, it's real shit.
But
there are story. Like I said, it's broken down to stories. It's about X thing per episode. It's not we're going to go to New York. We were going to go to New York. We were going to like base things about that. Now it's about a subject versus a place.
So what I'm saying, what I suggest, what I'd love to see after like hearing your discourse on this is you going to fucking TwitchCon, dropping Robert Dean in the middle of TwitchCon.
Let's do it.
I would 100% do that because you know what the best part about being wrong all the time is and thinking like being wrong is okay. If I could go to TwitchCon and be educated on what I'm missing, I think that's important. Like, I think that I just wrote a thing. I think being wrong is really valuable to you. Like, think about like 10 years ago, I thought Guy Fieri was a fucking clown. Now I love Guy Fieri because I know the man he is and the work he's done for things. And I know he's an extraordinary human being. So, like, my judgment on him was based on how he looked and how he talked on camera.
Which might have been some producer steering that. That might not even been his influence. Because now that you know how TV works, you know how all these other people who have their fingers in the pie are like steering and guiding the product.
And that's the thing is like, and I feel the same way, dude. I feel the same way about fucking juggalos. I love fucking juggalos. I'm not a juggalo, but when you think about like how insular their community is, and they take care of one another, and they like refuse to like sell out, but also constantly lift one another up, no matter what the position is. Dude, that's fucking incredible.
You know, the KKK does the same thing.
What, take care of each other?
Yeah, they take care of each
other. Damn, son.
They lift each other up.
I mean,
100%. That's how they roll, bro.
There's the soundbite for this week's episode. I'm got to make sure to include video with that.
They support each other. Nobody else does.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right. Nobody else supports.
But yeah, I would totally go to TwitchCon. I would go to.
Dude, I'm so ready. Wait, so they turned, or they turned it into a giant gaming facility. The old Luxor in Vegas.
Yeah, the pyramid.
Yeah, the pyramid. Like, it's no longer the Luxor. Now it's like AE Sports owns it.
Does it? That was an MGM property. I didn't even know.
Well, it's an MGM property, but it's called AE Sports Arena.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then like that's where they have a lot of the conference. Like last time I was in Vegas, I saw that because I've actually stayed at the Luxor a couple of years before, and I went back because I was like, oh, I like it because it's like at the end of the strip. It's not right in the middle. It wasn't expensive, and
the showers have multiple handholds in case you have some friends over.
There was that too. There's that.
Sorry, I've only stayed at the Luxor during AVN, so.
Good place for that.
It is. Another place.
Never done AVN. I've had friends that have gone. I've always wanted to just be a fly on the wall because that sounds like an absolute shit show.
It can be. It also can be pretty boring.
Really? Well, most award ceremonies are. I'm figuring
the convention
after parties.
The convention is all about who you know. Like, if you don't know anybody, you're not going to have like an amazing time because the public after parties are meh. It's about knowing people and knowing about the private after parties and the industry only after parties, like any other fucking large gathering.
Any other conference.
Exactly.
Yeah, like any other conference. Like I totally get it.
But
yeah, so.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
For your two Twitch viewers that are watching right now, I love Bobby to death like a brother, but I do a lot of other stuff, not just this. So I'll see you at TwitchCon, bro.
Well, I think we should drop Bobby at TwitchCon. I also think we should drop Bobby at fucking Evo.
Oh.
So drop me at what?
Evo. So Evo is like the World Series of fighting games.
Yeah.
Because that is direct head-to-head people playing fighting games at crazy fucking tiers.
Yeah,
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, that's like
that's a big one.
That is one of the
that
biggest
actually,
things.
Numbers wise, has it been pulling more people than Twitch lately?
I mean, I don't, because of the stay-at-home orders and all that shit. I don't think there have been any of the fighting game tournaments. They've all been canceled because those are all in-person things. But Bobby, I'll send you some clips of like some of the big Evo moments. You get crowd reactions like you're watching a professional fight.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I've seen footage of that. It's funny. I won't watch people play video games, but I'll watch the shit at the conference, which is still weird.
I understand the value of watching people play to other people in the sense that, I don't know, man, like it's that whole zeitgeist of community and like what you're into. And I think that there's a validity in it. It's just because I don't like it doesn't mean it's not valid. It's just, I don't understand it.
Right. But that would be
open to learning.
That would be an amazing place for you to understand. Just drop you in with the fucking elite of the fighting game scene where these people are, they're not manually hitting a ball out of the park, but they're talking about hitting people based on frame rates of, at 60 frames a second being like, I have 2 frames to make this hit count.
Dude, it's that perfect example, Bobby, of being submerged in something that would be perfect for you and one for the show. But like when I was doing my documentary about my trans friend, the whole time I was doing this, I was like, cool, whatever, I accept whatever. But I didn't understand shit until I went to that damn conference and then was like, holy fuck. Like, this is, yes, we all live in different worlds. Matt lives in fucking podcast world.
No, Matt does.
Well, whatever.
Yeah, Matt does. Matt very much does. But
it's like something like that would be cool to like go check out. I think that's like, definitely like diving in and getting the fuck out when you're done.
Maybe he'll make some new friends. Maybe
I'm open.
Maybe
Matt, you're not going to convince me to play more games.
I don't want to play Bobby games. I'm off the floor with him.
I might make a few friends, but I always make a few friends. But me picking up the joystick, that ain't happening, bro. I'm almost 40. I ain't about to start now.
No, I'm not suggesting you pick up. I'm not suggesting you pick up the joystick.
Here's Bob. Here's my impersonation of Bobby at Twitch. Hey, girl. You want a real joystick?
Get the fuck out of here.
I've been in enough bars with Bobby that he is much smoother than that. But,
fair enough. That is, no, you're actually right. I just think that's funny.
But I'd like to see Bobby walk away from an event like Evo or TwitchCon with a newfound respect for the athletic prowess that does go into pro gaming.
Slow the fuck down. Slow the fuck down. Athletic prowess? Stand up, let's see that gut, you gamer.
Oh, I'm not a fucking pro gamer by any stretch of the imagination.
There's no athletic prowess. There is no athletic prowess.
Oh, yeah.
Are you fucking kidding? Are you really going to throw that terminology out?
Yeah, I will. Hand-eye coordination, manual dexterity.
I need something to assess this really quick.
Well, we just lost a viewer over my assertion that pro gamers have athletic prowess. Apparently that person's into pro sports.
There you go, exactly.
They're like, Matt's being full of shit. I'm out. Either that or your response to it. They're like, fuck this, out.
Because they think they're athletes? Come on.
Hey.
You're not an athlete.
Hey, arm wrestlers are athletes. They got some guts.
Physical.
There's some physicality to manual dexterity and hand-eye coordination.
Does this mean that because I jerk off every night, this makes me an athlete?
I don't know. Let's see your fucking score on the leaderboards.
Like, come on. Like,
thankfully, no one's keeping score on our masturbation habits. Otherwise, I'd be like, top score, bitches.
I absolutely think there is a lot of absolute technical skill in hand-eye coordination, but not athletic prowess. Come on, that's a stretch, bro.
I stand by my statement.
Well, that's exactly what you do when you're playing video games. You stand still. There's no athleticism in that.
Look, man, fucking athletes in 2020 are cyborgs. Being able to like
that is fucking true.
that ain't it. Being able to lace a pass and catch one into double coverage in the end zone is not the same thing as fucking being able to play a UFC fighting game. That's not athletic prowess. Alvin Kamara breaking tackles and getting into fucking a 30-yard run is athletic prowess.
But those are different types of athleticism. You can't compare someone who is a Olympic runner to a pro football player. You can't put a track star just on the fucking gridiron and expect them to be like fucking perform as well. It's different types of athleticism.
Yeah, but that's athleticism. Using your thumbs and your hand-eye control, manual dexterity. Pedro, I agree, 100%. But that is not athletic prowess, dude.
No.
Athletic, like...
Let me put this in Matt's wheelhouse. Hold up, Bobby. Let me put this in Matt's wheelhouse a little bit. Porn stars
are 100% athletic. 100%.
Okay, wait, hold on. But before you jump to this,
they're pro athletes. Porn stars are 100% pro athletes.
Would you consider a cam girl a porn star?
No.
In this day and age, in the state of the industry, yes.
Really?
Really, because at this point the industry is changing. The industry,
adult entertainer, yes, but not a porn star.
Well, so there are two different definitions of what you can consider a porn star. Is it the Jenna Jamesons of old that were contract girls that are in the fucking big lights, or is it someone who stars in the goddamn porn? Because there aren't contract girls anymore. The big names are all fucking self-made. Angela White generates much more.
The patriarchy for that bullshit.
Okay.
But big stars like Angela White generate so much more content and more revenue off their OnlyFans and camming than they do from actual content, from traditional porn content.
But that's the thing, though, is you have to look at, where was the distinction made? That's that thing when you were talking about being an influencer, is because you already had an existing base, which you're utilizing to a different medium. Now, would you see the idea of banging yourself on an OnlyFans for people to buy is fine, but that is contextually different than somebody getting behind the lights, getting there on the set, doing that particular scene. That's what it takes to establish yourself in that world. Now, if you've never been in that world, that's like comparing a fucking improv person to an actual stand-up. It's not the same thing.
Well, I don't feel improv and stand-up are a good comparison there, because those are just completely it's all comedy, but it's completely different.
But it's all sex. That's the thing.
But here's the thing:
like a cam girl is.
Cam girls come on varied degrees. Yeah, there was the girl who was just sitting there masturbating and just being like, "Hey," just fucking diddling and all that shit. But there are at-home productions that are full-on productions happening as well.
Well, yeah, because they're using me as their consultant. That's why.
Okay, so if they're full-blown productions, so do we need to delineate what is considered cam work then? Because, I see a lot of, when it's time to fucking beat the meat, you see some, poor, cam stuff point of view that they've created with people willing to fuck on camera and all that, which is fine because that is the center. But I think that in the pejorative sense, when you look at what camming is, you just assume it's somebody turning on their fucking camera and then they're just fucking using a sex toy or whatever. But if they're full-blown having sex and creating an ecosystem about that, I think that is the Venn diagram that leads into porn. It's more just a DIY version of it.
Right.
So I think when you get into what is considered, I guess you have to break down into what camming is versus the perception of where the viewer is going and what their expectancy is.
Well, and this is why I just believe it all falls under, yes, there are cam stars that are porn stars at this point. Like, you look at Jenny Blythe, who huge at AVNs. You look at the fact that a year or two ago, one of the big cam girls was one of the co-hosts at AVN. So the major publications and the major award shows are legitimizing cam performers as porn stars.
So cam girls are basically farm team.
Depends on how you want to define farm team. In a lot of cases,
my whole point was to come back to tell you that video gamers do not have athletic prowess, bro.
I know that was the point you're trying to get at, but it's not a good equivalency because
okay, fair. That's fair.
Some of these cam performers, if you're judging,
I can admit when I'm wrong online, buddy.
I can too. I'm just not wrong in this particular situation. Some of these cam performers are generating more revenue, have bigger fan bases than a lot of mainstream performers. By what metrics do you define their success into being a porn star? That some gatekeeper with a major production is hiring them or not?
Well, I mean, I have to agree with you there because the whole scape of the adult industry is changing so much so fast.
And this pandemic is changing it even more.
Even more, yeah. So I agree with you there, but still, Twitch people, the one dude that's watching right now.
We're back to two.
Hey guys, okay, so we got two. Now I have, you guys can argue amongst yourselves. I don't hate you. Bobby doesn't hate you. We just don't understand. We just don't understand. We don't. So help us understand. But before you help us understand, make sure you look out for Out of Step and watch the show and all the other shit that I'm working on that I'm too drunk to probably list, but I'll tell Matt in a little bit.
You're not going to get a chance to sober up on air. We're going to keep drinking.
Well, and then it'll happen in like spurts.
Pedro, what are you working on besides Out of Step?
Well, you'll say something and it'll remind me of something that I'm doing.
Well, I'm going to specifically ask you, what else are you working on?
I'll be right back. I got to piss.
Okay, there you go.
Bring your phone with you. Get me banned from Twitch.
Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
No, Bob will piss on his phone.
I'm going to...
Yeah. Well,
exactly.
Thank you for looking out for my well-being even when I'm not trying to.
Exactly.
Because a urine stream 100% would get me banned from Twitch.
Well, let me get all this out before Bob gets back, because I'm sure when he comes back, he's going to be like, what the fuck?
Right.
So prior to the pandemic, I'm a producer. I am helping out on Queen of the South season 5. I worked on season 4. I'm working under Panavision Light Iron, doing some post-production work with them because it's something I'm wanting to learn. I am by trade a producer. You know this.
I do. I actually listed you in my Twitch chat as producer, Pedro.
Yeah, and I also, a lot of my background is in writing, directing, and some acting. And I figured that, hey, look, I really need to learn post-production a little bit better. So that's what I started doing that. And I love everyone I'm working with. I love what I'm doing. But besides that, the stuff that I've constantly worked on. So one, which is we're finishing up right now, working on a documentary, which is my first and definitely not my last, because I've actually set up a couple of them, about a friend of mine here in New Orleans who is trans female. And
male to female or female to male?
Male to female.
Okay.
And is very much a public figure in radio, and fan base doesn't realize that he is a she, because she has been on a very conservative radio stations, used to work for Rush Limbaugh as well, and anyone never asked, because voice of gold, but the looks don't match at all, and I can't say the name, but the documentary will be called Being Becky. And it's not a coming out piece, because I refuse to do that, and she agrees to it as well. It's going to be a lifestyle piece. It's going to be like, hey, I've been living with this, because no offense, I have several of my friends. I am way beyond queer friendly. Like I have so many of my friends in the LGBT community, it's ridiculous. A lot of my best friends are, excluding Bob. Bob's not queer, as much as people want to think. But he is, and it. Like I was saying earlier, like I was shooting this when I first started 5 years ago, and in that first year, my friend Becky had a medical scare, and we were like, well, we need to shut down, because it's not really going to be that entertaining to see you in a hospital. And then she got better, and then shortly after, we went to what is that a giant butt plug? What is that?
Will it, sir? I didn't mean to derail you. I was just pouring myself more whiskey.
That's whiskey?
Uh-huh.
Ooh, fancy. It looks like a little still. That's why.
Yeah,
okay.
It's Will It pot stilled.
Okay, that looks like a little still. That's great. You're kissing a giant butt plug.
I'd kiss a normal size one if it came out of the right person, too. I mean...
So, yeah, while I was at this conference, it really opened up my eyes to a lot of issues that are within the LGBT community in general. And it just really kind of, it gave me that push because I'll be absolutely honest, even though I'm live right now, it was one of those things where I was like, why am I doing this? Why am I investing my time? And I know immediately when I put this out, no, not even, because it's a documentary. Let's get real. It's not about money. It was more along the lines of, it's to raise people's awareness about a lot of shit that's going on, and it really struck a nerve with me to see how ousted a lot of that community is everywhere, just for being prejudged.
Oh, the suicide rates in the trans community are off the fucking charts.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And a lot of that's going to be touched on in the documentary as well. Becky has never really been in that because she's had a lot of luck having the career she has because she's the voice of radio. She's never half of the people that follow her don't even know what she really looks like. But it's like, so I worked on that, and that kind of like put me in high gear into working on the documentary. In the midst of that, I've obviously done features and TV shows. The one I started working on after that, immediately when I first started working on that, was a docuseries I'm doing about, and this is not even the log line. It is, and I can't give away too much because I have a couple people that are interested, but it is how to achieve enlightenment without religion through your senses. There's a lot more to that. Bobby knows a little bit more, but that's one that I'm working on. On top of last year, I've worked on several other. I worked on a feature in Kentucky about Alzheimer's. And right before that, I was in LA. Well, Bob and I were shooting a sizzle reel for the first concept he came up with. And then I flew out to LA and shot a short, which is going to be basically kind of. Have you seen Love, Death, and Robots?
I know it.
Okay, so it's kind of an anthology of shorts about the apocalypse or post-apocalypse. And actually, I'm wearing a shirt. Plug.
Boom.
That's the plug.
Speaking of you being out in LA, didn't you shoot some porn when you were out here?
I did. We'll go back to that. That's a whole different story.
I know.
It is a whole very involved story. So while I was there, and then the anthology is basically about relationships, in which, oddly enough, and it's funny because we've been talking about this, and we're in the middle of making sure the animation, we're doing very much a cross between animation and live action. So think Love, Death, and Robots, but very much more Roger Rabbit.
Is there going to be a Jessica Rabbit?
Dude, why does your mind always go to jerking off to Jessica Rabbit?
I like big titty redheads.
Fair. Fair.
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah, there are a couple characters, so you'll be fine. But it's going to be a lot of, to simplify, filming, which we had already done when we were there last year. And then the way we totally reassessed this whole thing, we're like, we can continue shooting this because it's half animation, half live action. And it's like real stories of how people are relating to each other in times like this, which we didn't think this was happening. You know, it was our weird fucking foresight when we started writing this. And then like another one that we're doing that's part of the anthology is homeless guy. We're doing a guy who's homeless, who's constantly preaching, constantly like talking on the corner, and nobody pays attention to him. And then we go into this pandemic, and that same homeless guy is the one person that is trying to guide people into like helping them, you know, and nobody realizes that was the same homeless guy. And part of that's gonna be part animated, so it's an anthology, so it's different short stories. And then also I my production company is called Key Productions, as in like right here. And I'm working with Bobby on his. I'm also writing my own scripts as well. I have I definitely can't give that one away, but let's just say it's a creature feature.
Nice.
Because I do write a lot of comedy. I do write, and I didn't realize until Bob will get a kick out of this. I didn't realize I knew how to write creature features until I broke up with my ex. But that's
I want to hear how that segue happened. And like, how did breaking up with your ex get you into creature features?
It didn't. It had nothing to do with her. It had to do with me sitting down and going, all right, what were my biggest film influences when I was a kid? And like the one thing that stood out to me the most was Godzilla. As a kid, I was fascinated. Like I knew immediately that it was miniatures that he was stomping on, but I was absolutely fascinated with that all my life in Kung Fu theater and every cartoon you can think of. I still watch all the cartoons.
What's your favorite Godzilla? What's your favorite Godzilla movie?
The first one.
Oh, the original black and white.
Yeah.
Mine's Destroy All Monsters.
That's a great one. But the first one was the one that I've always like. I've rewatched that more than I can think of. And
you know what else?
What's that?
I was gonna say, do you like Gamera?
Well, yeah, anything having to do with kaijus, dude. Come on.
I love that shit. Did you? Back in like 2002. Do you remember Kaiju Big Batel?
Yes.
No clue.
That shit was so fucking awesome.
No clue on my end.
You should. Oh man, Kaiju Big Batel was out of Chicago. What it was essentially. Sorry to derail the conversation.
Not at all.
About your influences.
No.
Kaiju Big Batel was. I think it was out of Chicago, but it was in Chicago a lot. So what they would do is essentially like imagine a wrestling ring, but the whole ring was set up like a little city, and then the fucking wrestlers came out like kaiju, and they fucking fought in the big like cities, and they destroyed everything, and they had all these characters. Like one had like a box for his head, one was a skeleton, and it was essentially the same storyline.
I don't know if
like
it was the same group,
Godzilla
but they
movie.
toured through New Orleans last summer. I don't know if it was the same
Kaiju
group.
Big Batel. Probably because they've done in the last like 5 years, it went from like being an all the time thing to now they do like a lot of online shows, and they'll do a tour like once a summer now. But I don't know if it was out of Chicago or out of New York, but they were in Chicago a lot.
So Bobby, just so you know, if you like that, and you could probably pick up a whole volume right now, pick up Kaiju Max, which is a lot of that is based on that, and it's basically about this maximum prison facility that's imprisoned all these kaiju creatures, and they fight in the jail cells, and it's based around a lot of that, which is really cool.
That's cool. I love that shit.
It's called Kaiju Max.
Yeah, I'll look it up. I'll write it down here in a second. I love Godzilla movies, and I think King Kong sucks, but the Godzilla universe, Kaiju, fucking Ghidorah, Mothra.
Well, here's my thoughts on King Kong. It's America's bastardized version of Kaiju films, and they fucked it up from the very beginning by making it the Congo. They wanted to portray all their fucking slavery bullshit in one big ass creature feature film. I mean, I like King Kong, but I just the first time I saw that, I was like, this doesn't seem right.
Well, hell, there's Tarantino kind of addresses that in Inglourious Bastards when they're playing
Tarantino. I hope he's watching right now.
I would hope for that too. But there's that scene in Inglourious Bastards where they're playing the card game in the bar, and someone makes them mention their card is King Kong, and they make all the parallels to it, and they're like, "Oh, I'm the story of the American slave," and they're like, "Oh, nope, King Kong." And it's like, "Oh, yeah, there's some heavy parallels there."
Oh yeah, white woman, all the whole nine, man. But yeah, no. So back to what I've been doing, and wrote a creature feature. So just picture your kaijus in Louisiana, basically, and it's very much my homage to old, very all the old kaiju films, along with trauma films, and making it more to a scale as opposed to gigantic.
Nice.
And the storylines can go from you name it. It's Bob. You still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, my phone.
He had to respond to a text or some shit.
No, I touched the screen and I didn't know what it does.
The old man doesn't know how technology works.
I'm getting there.
He's gonna have to learn.
But what's really crazy about that?
By the way, sidebar. This has been one of the biggest things about me and Bobby working together on this show.
Okay.
Bobby hates social media.
Oh, I know.
And I keep reminding him as much as I can how important it is to the future of our show. And I don't agree with it, but you got to learn, dude.
Marketing is important. You can have the best. You can have the best product in the world, and if no one knows it exists, it does not matter.
Look, learn it, and as soon as we have a big budget, we'll hire somebody to do it for you. That's it.
That's the greatest day in my life will be when I can hire somebody to manage social media and I can delete it off my phone and never look at it again. That will be the greatest day in my life.
We need to hire the nerdiest, ugliest person because I don't want anybody sleeping with him.
You don't want anyone sleeping with Bobby?
Because social media is going to be so important for what we're doing. Well, nobody from our immediate circle.
Fair. I mean, you shouldn't be sleeping with your employees in the first place.
Why? They're the easiest ones to sleep with.
It is 2020 still, right? I don't even know what year it is. Fuck, that kind of comment 1993 in this shit.
I mean, yeah, you're kind of right, but I don't care where you work, what you do for a living. Every company has this: no fraternizing, no sleeping. It's all this underlying. But everyone in every workplace is fucking each other.
Well, that's why they have those rules. Because if it was completely
where are you supposed to, when you're a fucking slave to capitalism and you're working all these hours every goddamn day, where are you supposed to meet other people except in a bar?
Sex workers. Just pay for sex workers.
Well, yeah, there's that too.
But no, but the 100% they have those rules to curtail the people that are follow the laws. Everyone's obviously going to break those laws. Everyone's going to obviously fuck if there's a connection. People will be like, "Fuck my career. I'm so in love because of my brain chemicals." That's the reality of the situation. But if they didn't have those laws and those rules there, everyone would just be willy-nilly throwing their genitals wherever they fit in.
I mean,
I don't think that.
Here's the willy-nilly.
Assuming that it was consensual.
Of course.
We've had two
Wait.
usages.
But there is a place I draw the line, and Bobby knows this much about me. Boss-employee relations, off the table. You don't mess with that. Within employees, I don't give a shit. Bobby knows very well. For all the years I worked on bourbon with him, way too many years, close to 20 years. Never did I date someone that I worked with. That worked for me specifically because I was a goddamn boss. I would never do that. Now, if it was my coworker, what's that?
I would like to point out that we've had 2 usages of willy-nilly tonight.
Trust me, there will be a third.
Or a fourth, maybe. Maybe a fourth.
Possibly.
Maybe a fifth even. Who knows? Or maybe I'm going to drink a fifth. I don't...
There you go. You're behind, dude. Look at this.
Well, I didn't pregame. Bobby's had like a beer.
This is my 3rd beer.
Yes. Here, toast.
Cheers, everyone. Cheers.
Are you sure this is a show? I feel like you're talking shit.
Yeah, that is actually the show. The show is pretty much just talking shit.
Podcasts, right? That's most podcasts, people talking shit.
Well, especially this podcast. Bobby, go ahead.
No, I was going to say most podcasts, there's some kind of like direction. What I have learned about And Now We Drink is it just wherever the thing goes is where it goes. If you fucking say something scandalous, you're on your own, Chief.
Oh, not only are you on your own, I may encourage you to go further.
Yeah, it could get turned into a meme.
It might. I've been known to.
So before I get too drunk, let me finish saying whatever.
Of course.
So I've been writing that script. There's a couple other scripts. I'm also, and this is ironically, I started writing a script several years ago, and I couldn't kind of really figure it out. And this one I could totally talk about. And are you guys familiar with the Nightwatch? It's a Russian film.
Yes. Okay.
In the Nightwatch, there's a woman who ends up cursing herself, which causes a huge turn of events. It's very supernatural. The film also grossed more than Twin Towers in Europe. If most people don't realize that.
Wow.
Nightwatch.
I don't even know what Twin.
And then there's a sequel.
What's Twin Towers?
Watch. The Lord of the Rings, Twin Towers.
2 towers.
Oh, okay.
Towers, yeah. It grossed more than they did, still has to this day. And so I came up with an idea of a more modernized American one about a woman who does the same thing to herself, but not so much and Matt, if you can remember, it was very like out in the open, like, yes, we're vampires.
Right.
Like I pushed back away from that, but I just took that one idea, but I will 100% give them the credit for it because I thought it was brilliant. So I started writing about this young lady who ends up cursing herself, not realizing she curses herself. People around her start getting sick. She realizes, I don't want if everything around her just dies and gets negative, and she's like, well, I can't do a normal job, so I start camming. Well, when she starts camming, this curse that she's unaware that she did it to herself, starts adapting to digital. So now all of a sudden, when people are camming with her, computers are crashing, like little things. And it starts building up as it goes along, and people start dying. Then there's this douchebag failed detective. I absolutely love shitbag failed detectives. I don't know why.
I'm right here, man. I'm right here.
You feel me? I
am a douchebag failed detective, so.
Oh. But I love their thought process. I love those characters in films. So I have this one guy who's just down on his luck, and all he does is watch cams. he was a good detective, gone bad, and then he starts seeing, and then he starts reading up on supernatural shit. And he's like, wait, something's not right. And then he also starts tapping it because he's a shitbag. He's already wrapped up in like 4chan and dark web and all that. So he's like, wait a minute, this doesn't seem right. And then the story turns into where he's trying to figure out, and he thinks this is his big break to get reinstated. So he starts trying to track this girl down. In the process, the girl falls in love with another girl who's also a cam girl, who is about as goth as they fucking come. And she's like, I don't care. I embrace the dark, yada, yada, yada. This girlfriend of hers starts explaining to her that she's a fucking witch and she did this to herself. So, ergo, that's how the story pretty much goes. There's a lot more to it, but now that we've been in this fucking pandemic, whole story is kind of like steroided, 100% for me. So now I'm thinking about different ways of shooting it, how I can actually get away with shooting it while we're in the pandemic.
Why not make it animated?
No, I want to see real titties, bro. Why you guys do that to me, man?
Because animation's amazing. Real titties. You could do so much with animation.
I'm not in the hentai, bro.
I'm not saying...
Sorry.
Sorry,
I'm just not. No, I want real life.
Okay.
I want real life. No, and not only that, so, yes, it could be animated the way I have it written now, but the way I've changed it, I would rather not.
Okay.
Because I want to show... So there was... And this is... Seriously, like last year was the first time I saw a film. I think it was called Cam. It was on Netflix. I'll have to look it up. But it was about a girl that was a cam girl. And it was like one of the first ones ever been done as an indie film. And it was okay, but it was poorly shot. And
Netflix just handing out that money.
Right. Well, and regardless, it also has to do with how it's written. 100%. I've done this long enough to where I know I can get some mediocre, like, camera crew, but if the writing's done right and have the right DP, it doesn't matter. Like, it's going to be shot beautifully, and the story will come across. So that's one story. I haven't given it a title yet, so I'm probably going to name it after one of Bobby's girlfriends, and, that's what we're
Bobby's like, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Bobby looks like he's a mob guy just pulled into a fucking interrogation room. He's like, lawyer, right? Lawyer. So
that's the stuff I've been producing. I work with another production company here called Get It Girl Productions, and we're working on a show with Chris Rose. He also has a podcast, which has been begging me to help him with, but I know nothing about podcasts.
Well, connect us. I'll help him out.
Okay.
I
will do that. I know Bob knows who Chris Rose is. He can tell you all about him.
I know a thing or two about podcasting, I think. Maybe.
But Chris Rose is one of our local journalists here in New Orleans. And we're putting together a crime show called Noir Lens. It's spelled Noirlens, but it's obviously New Orleans.
Right.
It's basically, we're digging up a lot of old crime files.
Old cold cases or?
Cases, yep.
Cold cases, though?
There's already a show, so I don't want to say that. There's already a show called Cold Cases. But we're also doing it with very much of the style of, like, think of Bob 20 years from now.
Bob's going to be alive in 20 years?
That's Chris Rose. They have that perspective. Like, they go at it big time. So working on that with them and just trying to stay busy, man. And that's life. And always coming up with random shitty ideas and some good ones here and there. And
well, that's the thing. You never know, like, if an idea is going to be until you throw it against the wall and see if it sticks.
True. Very true. I usually throw it in people's faces and see if it sticks on their face.
It's just wipe it off and shit flavored.
See, I'm with Bob with the face. See the face Bob made? That was kind of gross.
Yeah. I'm lowbrow humor. This is how I roll. No one's tuning into this show for fucking high comedy. Oh my god.
High comedy.
High comedy. Oh my god, we're so classy. I like to remind everyone
we're the groundlings. Do we think we're the groundlings?
No, we are much lower than the groundlings. I like to remind everyone who listens to the show regularly, low is a class, and that is the class that we are at.
Yes. Yes, it is.
When you ain't first class, you're roach class.
Roach class. Fuck yeah. But yeah, and then, on top of that, there's also, I've been shopping Bob's script for Morrowtown or Marrow? Fuck, I'm drunk. God damn it.
Oh yeah, more.
He forgets about this shit.
I love that he has forgotten about his own fucking script.
No, and I'm also trying to shop one of his first novels, which is one of my favorites.
Hard roll or
love it. In the Arms of Nightmare.
Oh, gotcha.
And he forgets, but I'm still trying to work on that.
Yeah, no, his film script. I actually had some. I feel like I had a little hand on that.
Yeah, I've got that script for Marrowbone Holler, which is, it's not a bad story at all. I think
it's a great story.
I think if the show gets made, a lot more doors will open up to this possibility of selling it. I don't give a shit about it, man. Just fucking pay me. That's all I care about.
I love that the passion behind his art there. The passion behind his art is like, fuck you, pay me. I don't give a fuck about my art.
Dude,
it's not that. I'm not as.
This is why I love you, dude. You know that. That's why I love you, because let me worry about, and that's exactly what he's right. Let him be creative and let me worry about handling the business aspect of this. Even though he's hit the ground without a step, Bob is sick balls, one of the best business people I know, because he's moved a lot faster than most people I know in this industry, which is great. But at the same point, I want him to stay creative. Like,
I do too.
One of the most creative minds I know, and I will 100% back him up for anything.
I liked the idea. I liked writing the two scripts that I've written, and they're fun. I'm not a script writer, and I kind of stuck my toe in that world, which to me was just an exercise to just try something. And of the two I have written, which Matt has had influence on each of them, I would love to see them get made. But
Bobby aspires. Fuck you! I'm cutting you off. Bobby aspires to be a porn script writer.
No, we wrote it. Bobby and I wrote a porn.
At least one. Wait, you already wrote it?
We did.
We wrote one.
Is it 3 pages long?
No, it's about 20 pages.
No.
20 pages? A feature length is 20 pages.
Yeah, it was 20. It was a feature length form. We did write it. It was very Tarantino-esque.
Spaghetti Western porn, really?
No, more like 90s.
It was
90s,
really
90s Tarantino.
Oh, 90s Tarantino. Oh, okay, fair.
It's really influenced by Faster Pussycat, Kill, 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 Valley of the Dolls, stuff like that. I mean, it's a cool story. If I was talking with our friend Matt and I are friends with Kate Kennedy, and I was talking with her about it. And she was like, dude, get your fucking TV show made, and then you can figure out who is willing to pay for it. Because right now, it's essentially a rock and roll B movie with fucking. And you could take the fucking, you could turn it into softcore. You could just turn those into mild Hollywood-esque sex scenes. But the fucking isn't the main focus of it. I just wrote something that was like a rock and roll fucking high stakes, low budget as fuck. Like, you could make that movie for nothing. You just have to have a cool car, a warehouse, and people willing to act. That's all you need.
Right. And we were hoping to capitalize on my connections in the porn industry and see if someone wanted to make it.
So I think that eventually that will get made.
Oh, I agree. But in the short term, I was unable to sell it, which is a feeling on my part, not on the strength of the script.
So, I mean, I would love to. And with Marrowbone, writing Marrowbone Holler was fun. But again, I would never write a script again. It was good to try it, and I learned a lot about like brevity and moving scenes and things like that. I learned from the experience, which I think as a writer, that's what you constantly need to do. But if it gets made, that'd be incredible. As far as I'm concerned, help me buy a house. Just pay me, and so I don't have to think about money for a couple of months.
Yeah, that's all of us.
Right.
So that's kind of my.
But you know, in all fairness, man, like I feel like the industry right now, it's not story driven anymore, except it's more sketch driven. Scenario wise, Matt, maybe you could correct me on this, but I just feel like the porn industry with your feature length films are not like your great writing in the first place. It's always spoofs, parodies.
It depends on what category.
Yeah.
A lot of it is a lot of production companies will make a couple big features a year just for award season. Like they're just basically making them for award bait. They're not so much making them to sell them. They're not so much making them to. They will chop them up into scenes and sell the individual scenes. They're not so much the money makers. They're more for, hey, when award season comes around, there's big categories like best comedy, best drama, best whatever. They're going to make these big features just to get the recognition of winning an AVN, winning an XBiz.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like I feel like Bobby, if you want to write a porn feature, write it about incest and in-laws.
Faux-cest, real incest is not legal.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean. Stepsister shit, man.
Oh my god, bro, what are you doing? Me and Matt were like the whole.
That's the soundbite for today.
There's going to be a couple.
We were talking about
bro.
it. And I was obsessed with the idea that I would still do it today. Like if Out of Step got made, I would. And like they were like, yeah, you would won an Emmy. If I won an Emmy, I would send a Michael Jackson impersonator to go upstage and get it.
That would be hilarious.
That's what Nirvana did for their MTV award, and I swear to God, if I win any award, I am getting a Michael Jackson impersonator to accept it on my behalf.
Oh wait, so we do that with one condition. We're still there because I want to go to the after party.
I don't give a shit about that. You can go. I won't go.
I'll go for you.
Hey, look, going to that means I'll find more funding for all of our other shows. So
that's. If you're at the point when you're winning Emmys, I don't think you're gonna have a problem finding funding.
No,
that's not a problem.
It's a dope.
Exactly.
I want a gift bag. I want an after party.
I want a gift bag that is worth my annual income at this moment.
Look, I'll be the one that goes with the impersonator. I'll let them go on stage, but I'll make sure I'm there for the after party.
If something I had done won an Emmy, I wouldn't even go. I'd be like, I don't want to go to that shit. I just zero desire. I don't fucking care about those people.
You should go to the first one.
I don't fucking care.
It's not about you caring. It's about being seen.
Matt, this is you're beating a dead dog, bro.
I know, but I've been known to do that.
If I was lucky enough to go, you know what the only scenario I would go is? The only scenario on Earth. You know who would be my dates for that?
Every porn star you know.
No, it'd be my parents. If I could bring my parents or my mom as my date to
there you go.
You can definitely bring your mom.
Thank you for like the life that you afforded me to like get this far. If I could bring my mother, I would go. But like,
hell yeah!
Thank you for having unprotected sex, mom.
I agree with you on that 100% because I've always said that about my films, that I would not go unless I could take my mom, and we would get so shitty drunk, it would be hilarious. That's
like if
I want my mom to feel fancy as fuck, get her little bag with all the goodies in it, and then us sit there and just laugh and be like, damn, we made it this far. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Like that's like I remember one time I did Moonrunners. It's a music festival in Chicago, and I hosted it, and I had like all access in the green room, and I took my dad backstage, and He got all the free drinks he wanted. He was smoking weed with all these like country singers and shit. And he was like, this is so fucking cool. And like, it made it totally worth it to me. That was fucking 10 years ago. And it made it worth it to me to like see him have so much joy. But like, if I got the opportunity to do anything and got to like, as a thank you to my parents, I would take it more serious. But other than that, I don't give a fuck about any of that shit.
Yeah. I totally get not giving a fuck. But on the other hand, it's like, it's also an opportunity that so few people actually fucking get in the grand scheme of things. Why not take advantage of it?
I don't care. I would rather sit at a dive bar and then watch it and be like, oh, that's cool, we won. And then I'd buy everybody shots. But I don't want to be around like all those fucking people and like people I can't relate to. And I don't like that whole like, let's suck each other's dicks because we're so great. I don't care, man. My heroes are fucking Henry Rollins, Glenn Danzig, and Ian McKay. I don't give two shits about any of that stuff.
Is it because you don't care or you don't want to suck dick?
I mean, it's because I don't care. I mean, sometimes you got to suck a little dick, but...
All right, there you go.
Hopefully if you have to suck dick, it's a little dick. Not a fucking break your jaw giant cock.
Here's to that.
Here's to sucking a little dick instead of a big dick.
So to me, it's like, I don't know. I just don't... I like the idea of the validation that you could win something in the sense of thank you for respecting the thing that we created. And I deeply appreciate that. But am I going to play the game? No.
Fair. You know, and in all honesty, I think the only one I would genuinely go to is an Emmy. All the other award ceremonies, I give two fucks.
Hey, I mean, for me personally, for the industry that I'm mostly involved in 10 years of going to the AVNs, I attended the award show once, and that was only because I was nominated.
Sexually?
Best non-sex performance, baby.
I think it's bullshit that you lost that personally.
Me too.
Damn.
Well,
yeah, that was like a bullshit loss.
Especially because, you know, you figure I would have it rigged. My roommate votes on the awards and I didn't win.
All right, hang tight, guys. I need more ice for my tequila.
Get more ice for your tequila. But, c'est la vie. I didn't win. It was an honor to be fucking nominated. It's on my fucking IMDb that I have a nomination.
Yeah.
Which is more than a lot of motherfuckers can say.
That is true.
There's a lot of people that have a lot of sex on film that will never get an AVN nomination, so I'll take it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's no disrespect for that.
No,
but
it's immortalized.
Yeah. And now, did you hear that May 1st, Texas starts opening back up?
Yeah, man. What's your plan for that?
I'm not going anywhere near those fucking people.
Good shit. Fuck those idiots.
Like, I like the idea. I mean, trust me, I do like the idea of how fucking wild the bars are going to be when we're allowed back in them. I mean, they're going to be wild.
Yeah, but I'm not about dying over some weird fucking getting some weird vag in a new bar.
Yeah, man. Like with Ben's mom dying. Like, look, it was real in a lot of senses, dude. We lost John Prine because of this shit.
Well,
hey, that still hurts my fucking soul.
So, but for me, it wasn't a dude I was ever really close with, but a dude I knew in the 90s, 2000s. I knew back in the day, died in Wisconsin a couple weeks ago from it too. He was in his 50s. So
yeah, man, like, my homeboy's mom died, and it's not a risk I'm willing to take to be fucking out in the mix. Like when this thing start like loosening back up, am I cool with maybe, I don't know, going over to somebody's house and hanging out? Sure. Like, I'd like to see my friends again, but going out and cutting up in public, being in the bars and all that shit, it's just, I'm going to wait a couple of weeks till we kind of see what happens before I'm out there. I got kids and
yeah, you don't need to fucking have their last memory of you be fucking dead when they're fucking children.
Yeah, that's exactly it, man. It's just, I can't wait to do it. And like, I was supposed to be in LA in like
now.
a week and a half.
Yeah, you're supposed to be in LA like fucking now.
Yeah, and you know what? It is what it is.
We were supposed to have another blackout Fallout night somewhere here in LA.
That's what we do.
Let's do it.
That's what we do when I come to LA. We get all fucked up.
All right, that's priority travel. Going to LA first. Let's coordinate that together, Bob.
Okay, Pedro.
I will be in LA the minute.
Go ahead, Bob. Sorry.
The minute they give me the green light, I was like, we were just talking. I was supposed to be in LA like right now, but until we can open this shit back up, like that was the thing is when somebody was like, "Well, you don't know about shit," I was like, "You mean that my TV show that I was supposed to go to all these places to go pitch to and do all this shit, I don't know? This is a whole big difference between me getting a fucking TV show versus you getting a haircut. Believe me, I think this sucks. I think this sucks ass. But I also don't want to fucking kill people. And you know what? I don't want to fucking die from it either.
Right.
So let's just take a little bit and figure out the situation before we start fucking putting the cart in front of the horse."
Dude, dying of a pandemic is not sexy. You know.
No, man. It's just fucking use a little common sense and we'll figure this thing out. But you got these people that are jumping the gun. It's like, so they're opening up Texas to 25% capacity for restaurants.
But like, wait, what? I thought it was in phases. They're doing that immediately?
It is.
May 1st.
May 1st, you can go to the mall. You can go to
the mall. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah,
fucking
the mall, restaurants, and there's a couple other, but gyms and barbershops are still closed.
Should be the other way around. And let the barbershops open because they can only seat a certain amount of people in the first place.
But
fuckers sit outside.
Yeah, but that's way too close to contact, man. That's hands touching your face and your head. That's like really, really close contact. Same thing with believe me, dude. I already paid for a fucking tattoo. I sent my homeboy that tattoo.
Yeah, same here.
I already paid for one to help him keep him afloat, and I would love to get my new tattoo, but it's just not smart because that's he's on top of me essentially. That's the same thing with getting a fucking haircut, dude. Same thing like going to the dentist. I need to go to the dentist to get my fucking teeth cleaned, but let's not take that risk until that risk makes sense to like society because I'm convinced I had this shit. I'm telling you, I fucking to the day I die will believe that I had this in February.
No, I'm pretty sure you gave it to me, you dick motherfucker.
Well, no, when I was there, that was my allergies. But when I was in January, I was sick as fuck, and we all thought it was the flu.
Well, you were also, but it was your allergies when you were here in February. But I also got pretty fucking sick right after you left.
Dude, you can hear like I was watching that podcast that we did with Brandon and Kate. You can just hear how fucking like sick I am in that shit.
I know, but I also got pretty fucking sick right after you left.
Yeah, but I mean, I had doctor approved that it was my allergies.
Doctors don't know shit, apparently.
Whoa.
That's right. I said it. Doctors don't know shit.
Your Twitch is gonna spike. You're gonna
actually. We just got another viewer. That's right. Doctors don't know shit. Welcome to the stream.
Dude, you're talking to people who isolate themselves already. I don't think they're worried.
No. My Twitch audience, they ain't worried. They're here to tune in. They're like, why are you not beating people up in UFC right now?
Is that what they're doing? Watching you playing? What do you play? What UFC?
I play UFC 2. I play Fortnite because I'm 12 and Borderlands 3.
Okay, hey, I got a question.
Please.
What the fuck is Fortnite?
So Fortnite is a third-person shooter that Epic Games originally rolled out. It was supposed to be a sort of like survival horror game, and then PUBG, which is a Korean game, made the whole battle royale thing popular. So they made it into a battle royale game.
Whoa! Like battle royale, the Suicide movie.
So a normal Fortnite game is you parachute off a fucking bus, and it's you versus you, depending on the mode, either you versus 99 other players, or your squad versus, it's 100 players total on a giant map, and you guys fight it out till the last man standing.
Okay, so why is it so popular though? Because I see like kids doing dances and there's like Halloween costumes of it. Like,
So
is it not a horror thing then?
no, not at all. It's one, it's free. Two, it's very bright and colorful, so it attracts the the young minds.
Matt, sorry, I have to tell you this. Nothing is fucking free.
Well, it is free, but there's a big but. It is hyper microtransactions for cosmetic things.
Yes, and that's where they make their money.
Right. Oh, 100%. If you want to make your tune look like any of the million of fucking costumes they have, you got to spend real life money. To just play the game is free, though.
So you fight other people?
Yes.
Like with your hands, or do you shoot them?
Shoot them. And hit them with pickaxes, but mostly shoot them.
Depending on your levels. I played it for a little bit.
Well, it's not depending on... I mean, it's not depending on your levels. It's depending on how fast you can grab a gun.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean by level.
Yeah. Are they like guns, or are they like hot dog guns?
No, they're guns.
Love that.
They're guns.
I'm writing that down. Bobby said hot dog guns.
Bobby just wants to meat, encased meat thrown at people. No,
I when people make references to Fortnite, I don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
When we get off air, I will send you some videos of me playing Fortnite.
That's okay. I believe you.
Yeah,
you're getting them anyways.
Please don't do that.
I'm doing that to him. He doesn't have to click play.
Anything, send him Minecraft. That'll really fuck his head.
I've never played Minecraft.
I have a 6-year-old. I know what he plays Minecraft, and I look at it and I'm like, what are you doing? And like the robot voice, like, and I'm like, and he watches people play it online, and I don't even know what the fuck. He's like, look, Daddy, that's a pig. I'm like, that's a fucking pig. And he's like, and then there's like a green guy with a sad face, and then he's like, I got a pickaxe. I'm like, cool. And I tried to engage with him on it, and I don't understand shit. And then, but he's got Mario Kart, and I play that with him. And I tried to get him into Tetris, because Tetris is the one video game. Mario Kart and Tetris are the two video games I like. And because I beat the shit out of him at Mario Kart, and he does not like that at all.
You beat the shit out of your small child at Mario Kart. You're a horrible human.
That is parenting at its best.
Yeah, dude, you teach that kid
fucking best.
You got to teach him what's up.
Kids to lose.
Yeah,
I agree with that, but
here is also a thing about my fucking kid though. Like, my kid is so fucking good at video games, it's insane. Like, he is 6 years old. He has beaten all 3 Little Big Planets. We beat DuckTales together. He has beaten Marvel, the Lego game. He beat that. He beat Sonic the Hedgehog. I've never beat a fucking game in my life until I beat DuckTales with him. And he's 6. And he's beaten like 5 games. And I bought him Pokemon Sword, and he's halfway through that shit now. Like, you buy him something and he just fucking crushes it. It's insane. And like, it's cool that he's got that ability that he can just fucking wreck shop on shit, because my brain does not work that way.
Well, you also don't have 6-year-old reflexes. A lot of it's in the
What is that? This is going to go back to that bullshit athletic prowess thing. 6-year-old reflexes? Really?
Yeah.
My 6-year-old nephew could barely catch a fucking ball without smashing it in his face. Don't tell me 6-year-old reflexes, dude.
I will.
You have kids. You know they're still learning. They're still learning their little reflexes.
Oh, well, I do not have kids, especially none I pay child support on.
I do.
Sadly. Thankfully, I don't pay child support on your kids either.
But no, it's wild to watch him do that shit. And whenever some games come up, he'll tell me all about it. He knows how to do the fucking dance and stuff. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm flossing, Daddy. And I was like, bro, what the fuck is that? Goes, I'm flossing. I was like,
Daddy.
I'm flossing, Daddy.
I was like, what the fuck is a floss? And he goes, it's a Fortnite dance. I was like, okay.
Dude, whatever came about, did they get sued for using that dance?
They got sued for using the Carlton dance. Alfonso Ribeiro.
Not the flossing dance? Because I heard that kid was trying to sue him.
I don't know about that one, but Alfonso Ribeiro definitely sued them over the Carlton dance.
Well, because it's called the Carlton. But the flossing with the kid with the backpack, apparently he was trying to get paid off of that.
I mean, he may have sued as well. I didn't look into that one. I just thought it was...
And by the way, Bobby, not to cut you off, man, I'm sorry, but I literally only follow this shit because I absolutely, for some reason, love following lawsuits. I don't know why. And maybe it's the fucking dramatic writer in me. I don't know. But it's like, apparently this flossing got bigger with Fortnite, and it was the kid with the backpack in the whatever fucking award ceremony there was, MTV. He did it live, and that was like his thing. Was it Madonna or Lady Gaga? I don't remember what it was.
Couldn't fucking tell me.
They call him a backpack kid. He's the one that came up with that dance, and Fortnite apparently got popped because he was trying to copyright the dance.
Oh, that's rough.
I gotta pee again. I'll be back in a second.
Proud of you. Proud that he's not pissing himself. It's funny because that's literally how I got into Fortnite. I was like, wait, what's going on with this? The kid annoyed the shit out of me because I think it's the stupidest dance ever. Because it's not a dance. No, it's
it's a spasm.
Fair. It's definitely a spasm.
And then the kid was like legit. Like, I get it. If he came up with it, fair, good on him. Because I never seen that anywhere else. So if Fortnite doesn't comply, and that's literally why I started playing Fortnite. And I'm like, this game is like it's like a simplified version of, besides the battle royale aspect, which I totally get, simplified version of every Full Metal, Call of Duty, all that. It's amazing how it really has taken its own life. Like, I appreciate it 100%. I think it's a cool game. I'm just not the type of person playing. I like storylines,
for sure.
If that makes sense. Like I was huge into, and I do that whenever I'm not feeling creative or I feel like I need a little boost. I'll play Assassin's Creed. Their storyline through everything is just Assassin's Creed, God of War, Spider-Man, because it just follows those storylines. Like, I love, like, I'm literally in the process of trying to write different storylines for video games right now, and that's why I can't knock them, because
no, you shouldn't.
More like BioShock. There's so many of them out
Fallout.
there.
Fucking did Fallout. you play Fallout 4?
I don't play them. I love to, like, I'll purposely go on and look for videos of just the storylines.
Did you see the storyline for Fallout 4?
I haven't seen it all. No.
Okay. Spoilers. We'll just throw the spoiler alert out there.
Don't do it, because I literally just ordered it because I want to play it too.
Well,
but it's like,
God damn it. Well, if you're gonna play it, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, because there's a major fucking twist in the goddamn game that is beautiful writing.
Don't M. Night Shyamalan ding dong me, because I want to see the twist.
Are you gonna play Fallout 4?
I'm gonna play it because I like the storylines.
Oh,
like, I 100%. Like, a lot of these, and I learned my lesson. Here's where I learned my lesson. I played World of Warcraft for a year, and then I realized, okay, fuck you, expansions. You want more of my money.
Obviously. It's a business.
I'm not going to go pick, like, as much as I love being a herbologist and, a chemist and a dark elf and all, I'm not going to go fucking pick flowers in a game.
Right? Or fish.
Or although the fishing was fun. I have to say the fishing was kind of weird and fun. But it's funny because it's funny that Oblivion is the only reason why I started using an Xbox, because they have that in Oblivion. And I was like, oh, this is just like wow. But here's where my mind kind of drifted. I was like, what if I didn't do any of these side tasks and just played the story? And that's what got me hooked. So now, like, even with like Assassin's Creed, I'll play and I'll be like, all right, what's my next like mission?
Right.
And I would only do the missions. I wouldn't go around and fuck around, even though there's a lot of shit to do because they put so much in these games. I was absolutely enamored by the storylines. And did you just shit yourself?
I think he did.
Who?
You.
What was that? That was impressive.
There's some bass to that, Bobby.
Was that you?
I burped.
That was a burp?
No.
Damn, I didn't even see his mouth move. That was impressive.
Right?
I forgot what the fuck I was.
I held it in.
For what, 2 hours? Fuck.
I didn't even open my mouth. I held it in.
Fuck.
Dude, don't do that. That's how you die. That's how you die.
Then you die.
Well, that's how much whiskey I've had during the show. So much.
I'm on beer number 5.
This is how much. I don't know why I dug into the $50 bottle for doing the show, but meh.
Oh, because we make you feel fancy, boo boo.
I know none of you have tits that I want to see. And
cheers.
Bow.
The last time I did this show, our friend Brandon drank a bottle of Trader Joe's whiskey.
He did. I provided that for him.
Do a whole bottle of tequila. So
I have a bottle of Cazadores sitting on the bar too.
I specifically got this for you guys because I could drink this and talk.
Nice.
What is that?
The Cazadores Añejo.
What kind of?
It's tequila.
Oh, I don't really know tequila at all. So
I know it doesn't know me either. It takes advantage of me every time without consent.
It does. It does. It is a fucking asshole.
But yeah, Matt, like I was saying, it's like I love the storylines. I legit, like this morning I wrote down some notes and I'm like, why don't we take everything? I'm gonna apologize. This is my disclaimer right now. I don't want to talk about fucking politics or religion. But what if we created a video game where we could take all the stupid shit Trump has said that he denies and turn it into like a video game? Like there's already one called Mogul. There's already like Empire. Do
you really want to play a video game where you drink bleach?
Yes. That's the whole point. Nobody can get hurt. For real.
Well, no. Anyone who's willing to drink bleach, I'm okay with them getting hurt for real.
But like, imagine like a video game where you can give people those choices. Let's go back to the original.
I have a question before you get started.
What's Trails?
Oregon Trail?
Oregon Trail.
Bobby has a question. Hold on. Bobby has a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
How much weed did you smoke when you came up with this idea?
None.
This is all based on alcohol, not marijuana, motherfucker.
No, this is when I wake up. Bobby, this is the one part of anxiety. That's how I channel it. I get weird thoughts. I get weird thoughts and write them the fuck down. If not, I lose my fucking mind. But imagine, yes, Oregon
Joshua
Trail.
Headley has a whole song about
infamous,
this. It's called.
What's that?
Joshua Headley has a whole song about this. Shout out to Joshua Headley, the fucking baddest man in Nashville. It's called Weird Thought Thinker.
There you go. Let's.
Wow, we're doing a little bit more of that.
Joshua Headley.
Boom.
Tag him on. That's it, man. You buy that fucking record. Are you listening to that shit? Mr. Jukebox. Best country music of 2000 and...
What year is it?
2000. No, it came out 2 years ago. But
I did say what year is it. I don't know anymore.
No, he needs to write a follow-up. He's incredible. Of how good it is. If you like old school George Jones, right in your fucking wheelhouse.
Nice. But Pedro was saying about stories.
Yes. So about the political mogul. I don't want to even put his name on it, but I definitely want to use all the weird shit he's talked about and make him choices. Like, would you like this is it? So imagine like Oregon Trail died of dysentery. Can you imagine when that pops up into died of bleach or Clorox? You know,
died of COVID.
Right. So yeah. Hey, any Twitch watchers, y'all know anybody can make this shit happen? I got the story.
Quarantine Trail 2020.
Quarantine Trail. I'm telling you, I think it would be hilarious and brilliant because no matter how much of the bullshit we put out, like grab him by the pussy, that'll be in there, and he's gonna deny all of it anyway. So, and if he so much as comes around and goes, I have intellectual property or rights to any of that, that means he's admitting guilt for being a dumbass.
No, he's not admitting guilt. He's just admitting ownership
to his guilt.
I don't think he's guilty about grabbing him about the pussy at all.
All right, fuck you. You're not a lawyer. I'm gonna find a lawyer.
I'm a Jew.
We're gonna do this. Oh Jesus.
But on that note, we are about that time. We're going to call last call on this motherfuckers.
What?
Yeah, we're going to call last call.
We didn't even talk about sex yet.
We talked a little about sex.
Yeah, fair.
I mean, we could.
No one wants to hear three dudes talk about sex.
Someone might. Someone's into it.
Look.
But really, we're going to call last call. Go ahead.
We're going to call last call?
We're going to call last call.
Yeah, we should do a part 2. How's that?
We can definitely do a part 2. We're already at 2 hours and 16 minutes. And
are we really?
Oh, yeah. That's how fast this motherfucker went.
Motherfucker.
Bro.
All right.
Pedro, where can they find you on social media and all that shit? Where they can find your new projects, your old projects?
You could find me on the dark web under I Will Fuck Your Mother. You can find... No, I'm kidding.
I mean, if my mom needs to get laid, as long as you're going to be safe about it and there's going to be no COVID-19, I'll pay for it.
I'll send you an invoice.
Cool. Happy birthday, Mom.
Love you, Mom.
Hey, I understand. I respect that my mother is a human that has sexual needs as well. And if you're willing to provide that for her, cool. I'm willing to pay service for providers.
You're a good son.
All right. We all got here due to people having unprotected sex. We might as well respect the fact that the people who brought us into this world like to fuck.
Wait, so before last call, I don't mean to cut you off. Like, seriously, how's this affecting your show? I was curious about that. Like, I know we started that Facebook group, or Bobby invited me to it. How's it affecting your show? How's it affecting podcasts in general? So
podcast numbers are down across the board because the majority of the audio content is consumed by people that are at work, that are commuting from work. People don't want to just shove me into their ear holes while they're sitting around their home bored. But I've seen an uptick in my video content. Ah, okay. But at the end of the day, I love you guys. I love both of you. I love everyone who's tuning in. I hate doing remote episodes. Well, obviously, there's the less of a personal touch. Right. But let me this show is all about getting fucking shithoused in person. Let me ask you. So I see this trend, and I've seen it for a while, obviously, because I keep an eye on this shit because I'm a producer. But why have podcasts, even after iTunes did the whole dump, why have podcasts not fully evolved into video streaming? Like, why is it not videocast? Like, I know they're already out there. I know there's several that are out there, and clearly those are the ones that are have better, now I wouldn't say better content, honest, but they do have more viewers, more followers. Not necessarily. I mean, podcast. No, because I've actually had to film some. Podcast on the left. Last podcast on the left. I shot their last live event. Nice. And granted, they're like in the top fucking 5 or some shit. Yeah, they make roughly $60,000 a month in Patreon money alone. Right. So that's what I'm saying. Why haven't more podcast folks adapted that? Because, part of what's beautiful and horrible about the podcasting industry is the low barrier of entry to get into podcasting. So there are a ton of fucking podcasters that are just doing this with a fucking Blue Yeti and their laptop. They
Okay.
are, it would be if you were in person, me and you on my one fucking mic, sharing the mic, no post-production work, no cleaning it up, no polishing it. Apple doesn't give a fuck. There's such a low barrier of entry. Do you know how much? I mean, I don't need to bitch my audience, but I love my audience. I do a lot of fucking work to make this fucking happen every week.
No. I know. Look, I know. I have a couple friends that do them, and every time they ask me, I'm like, sure.
Well, Pedro,
one time I feel like I'm talent because I'm not doing anything to help. But I see all the hard work that goes into it.
You watched the episode with Bobby, Kate, and Brandon. That's a 3-camera shoot.
That was a lot of cutting.
That was a 3-camera shoot. Yeah. Do you know who did all the
cutting?
All the post-production work on that? This fucking guy.
Yeah, and then you actually, I mean, it was live last summer, late summer, and you just put it out in April.
No, that one was recorded in February.
Was it in February?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you're right. But still,
yeah, it was when I was in.
It was just put out in April though, and that's what a lot of people don't. Yeah, it says April 22nd.
No, that was come out. That came out a couple weeks ago. That was definitely not April 22nd.
It was April.
No, we just put up a post and made it public to everyone for free.
Okay.
The initial release was a couple months ago. Bobby encouraged me to make that one free because, hey, I'm willing to promote my friends.
Oh, I got you. So you're making it free. I got you.
Normally, my video versions are behind a paywall on Vimeo.
Gotcha. That makes sense. But even with that, like, clearly you understand that. But I see so many other people in the industry of podcasts where I'm like, why don't you make it, if your podcast is free, why not make the video free and then branch out into other aspects of what you're capable of?
Well, for me, like, my audio is free. The video versions I charge, they're behind a paywall because how many fucking hours it takes to cut that video.
Okay.
Like, but I also run my video versions ad free. The audio versions have ads.
Gotcha.
So if you want to experience it in full HD, you want to experience the wild, because people get naked on the fucking live shows or the video shows. Not Bobby, obviously. Sadly, Bobby didn't want to get naked because he's like, I have a reputation to protect or some shit.
What'd you say? What the fuck?
What, bitch? Oh, Bobby, come on, participate.
Man titty.
This is how we get kicked off Twitch. But
look, sorry, Twitch.
Right? If I get kicked off, I get kicked off. It is what it is. But I felt because how much more work goes into the video versions, how much more that I'm running them ad free, that I put them behind a paywall, which has been a mixed bag for me because when you have shows like Rogan or Fighter and the Kid or any of the big podcasts giving away their video content for free, it's hard to compete. It's hard to sell. Why should I pay 99 cents an episode when I can get a fucking episode of Rogan for free? But I value my content, and I feel if you want the audio, you can have that for free. If you value my work or you value how much effort I got to put into cutting a video episode, you'll give me 99 fucking cents, or really 60 cents after Vimeo takes their cut.
I totally understand. But Matt, I gotta tell you something. We need a part 2 because I gotta go take a shit.
Well, we called last call already, so we're gonna sign off on this motherfucker. Pedro, tell them where you can find their shit, where you can find you on social media.
Key Productions, Out of Step. We got to revamp the website, but Out of Step.
Outofstep.com.
What is
Out of Step with Robert Dean?
Out of Step with Robert.
Out of Step with Robert.
But it's going to be it's got to be revamped because our original concept it's very different now. Out of Step with Robert Dean, Key Productions, Get It Girl Productions, Pedro Lucero. That's pretty much anywhere you can find me. Just Google me. I'm on IMDb as much as I hate that.
Hey, guess what? You'll get an IMDb credit for this too. So
I need it. You know what I need, Matt? I need your help.
Okay.
I need your help getting me on the porn database because I don't know how to maneuver that thing.
Yeah, I'm on that too.
I know you are. That's why I'm asking you. because I'm credited now.
Good on you. Good on you.
I'm a porn DP.
Boom. Boom. Robert Dean, throw the socials out.
You can find me writing for places like Cleaver and Blade, Last Real Indians, Mike.com, soon to be Vice. You can find me at Forbes. You can just Google my name, and I'm all over the fucking internet. I have a new book coming out relatively, probably in the next year, a book of essays that it's going to be called Whiskey Nights and Rodeos. Please pay attention to the developing thing with Out of Step. And if you would like to do the social media dance, you can find me at Instagram at literally Robert Dean, or on Facebook, where I think it's Robert Dean's World. But you'll see a big guy covered in tattoos, and it's usually me.
And for those of you in quarantine that are looking for something to eat, Bobby can fucking cook. This dude knows his food. So definitely check out literally Robert Dean on Instagram.
For sure.
I'm going to do cooking. I'm going to do cooking videos. I just really need someone to shoot them. That's the problem. I did one. I made steak, but my angles were fucked up. It was so ugly. But I would
make your fucking roommate do some work.
That's
where I would love to teach people.
Matt, that's a whole. Yeah, just call me and I'll walk you through it.
You got to walk him through it, not Bobby. Bobby's the talent.
No, I can walk Bobby through it. That's not a big deal.
But because I did it and the angles suck. But I would love to teach people how to cook because it's easy if you are willing to take the time to learn. But yes, thank you for paying attention to me, and I love you all. And hopefully we'll be seeing you on television very soon.
Hell yeah.
Last question for everybody, and I hope people respond to you, Matt. I want your answer. I want Bobby's answer. What's everybody's quarantine go-to comfort food?
I think mine has been fried chicken because I seem to have gotten it a lot, either between Cane's or there's a place here in Austin called Tumble 22, which is incredible. I've been making a lot of steak. I've been making a lot of pasta, but we seem to eat fried chicken a lot, which I don't know why, because it's something that I like, but I just keep eating it more than I ever have.
That's great. I gotta take a shit.
Well, Pedro doesn't even wait around for my answer. I've been eating a metric fuck ton of kimchi. I ate 7 pounds of kimchi in 3 weeks.
Nice. I had kimchi. I made a bowl the other day. It was.
Look, this is my comfort food right now.
Well, yeah, that's my. I mean, this is my real comfort. This is the. I love you, girl. But in all reality,
glory.
We got to sign off on this motherfucker before I get too much more post-production work for myself. Until next week, you know where you can find me on social media. Drink up, motherfuckers. We're going to call this bitch.